Prince.
It's okay for the other person to land. All right, and the only
Yeah,
way
but you
you're
are
gonna
taking your time now.
No,
It's a very simple
because
question.
I'm
Hold
taking
on,
my
hold on,
time
hold
because
on.
it
Let's
is a
calm down. Let's
complex.
calm down. Let me
It is
ask the
a
question again.
it is
So
a
I will
complex
wait for you to
subject.
answer it straight. Let's be straight with each other. The question was how what is the underlying philosophy behind the need to introduce the Sharia law? So it's a very simple question.
What do you guys? You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Since it is obvious you guys just want to hear yourselves and you're not willing to listen to the other person, maybe I should let you guys just talk, go on a bashing spree, and
No,
enjoy
no, no, no,
yourself.
no.
Because
We are listening to you.
because
But you are
if
not
you're
answering.
They
saying
No, no,
asked you a
maybe we
you're
should
question.
go
not
on basis
answering
because
me,
you are not
Remember, you said
talking.
that we are not
Maybe bashing
educated enough
is better.
about Islam. Educate us
exactly,
now.
exactly.
Educate us
So
now, please. We are
okay,
waiting
so
for you.
if you let
We'll give
me
you
go,
time.
if I
Educate
keep
us.
mentioning
Why give him time?
which
If
is
he's not going to answer it, then what's the
which
point?
what am I not answering? You can
I ask you a
understand
straight
my
question. You spend a lot of time talking about other things.
big. I know you love to talk. Okay, so I don't know
You are the
what
one
you
that has been
don't.
doing all the talking.
I don't know. Yeah, because I'm explaining it from an Islamic point of view. So if you can give a better answer from an Islamic point of view, which I'm trying to tell him that Sharia has actually existed in for over 300 years, but you guys seem to be hard
Is
of.
that the underlying philosophy behind it?
He asked a question,
About the
okay,
underlying
and he's
philosophy.
arguing. He's That's your question. And he's arguing that Sharia does not exist in Nigeria and has never existed because Nigeria has not been in existence for even 300 years.
No,
And
no,
I'm telling him,
I only said give me the source. If you said Sharia existed, what is the source? The current
you
Sharia,
know what,
I
you
can
guys
give
have
you the
fun, man. You
source.
guys are nuts. You guys have fun.
You
I'll
can't
listen
answer
to you
the
guys.
question.
Yeah,
No,
it's
answer
okay.
the question. We are waiting for you. That's
What
why
parts,
Tony
what
is
parts,
silent. He's not
what
talking.
parts,
I'm not talking.
what
And even the
parts
person that asked the question is waiting for you to answer.
well, he's obviously not listening. Either he's hard of hearing or comprehension is an issue. Because again, I will repeat and I will reiterate that Sharia, he's asking why Sharia is not in Benin
Allah, turn
Republic.
on your camera.
He's asking why
It
Sharia
went
is
silent.
not, he's asking why Sharia is not in Benin Republic, why it's not in Togo, why it's not in Niger. And I'm explaining to you why it is not in these places, why it is in places like Indonesia, why the type that is being carried out in the United Arab Emirates, in Kuwait, and Oman, and those other countries in that region is what has been happening in southwestern Nigeria, parts of it for over 300 years. What part of that don't you guys understand?
Yeah,
Now,
so the
the
issue still remains. Sorry,
the
Kenny.
question
Tony has
Papa
to
has
say it.
asked.
Kenny, hold on now. Kenny,
Hmm.
he's not going to answer that one. Let's move on from that because the point I wanted to make was about this video that I was playing because this is very pertinent to our Muslims.
He's not going
In
to answer. What was the question going to be?
see
But
that
because
he
you want to
doesn't want me to
talk,
talk about it. He
because
doesn't
Kenny
want me to
had a
talk about it because
question.
every time I try to show this video and so that people understand what is going on, he just keep going on. Suddenly, want to answer
Am I a
questions.
magician that I know what video you want to show? Like
I
Kenny
want to
asked
show
his
the video of
question.
most these Arabs killing black people.
Can Kenny ask his question?
Um, uh, can I, forefathers, can I say something? I've been listening for a while.
The question is very simple. What is the motive for this Sharia law implementation in Nigeria? Since we don't have it, in our among our proximate neighbors. So, what is the purpose? What is the intent? What is the agenda of pushing for this Sharia law in Nigeria?
I wouldn't
Well,
know. I'm not a politician. The best person that you should ask
But you
that, and
said
which
that
I
I was
think,
not educated enough to know about Sharia
Kenny, you
law.
asked me a question. It's okay. Let me answer.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know. The best person you should have asked, and which I believe you did, and which he answered you, was Dr. Perry. Dr.
Okay,
Perry
good.
already
Okay,
answered you
hold on.
that
Okay, hold on there.
question.
Since you have no answer to this question, will I be wrong to say that I am not going to accept the Sharia law since you don't know the answer? And Dr. Perry was here, he didn't know the answer either. So
No,
will I
Dr.
be wrong to
Perry,
say that I cannot accept this? Will I be wrong to say that the agenda is for Islamic expansion? The agenda is for dominance. Will I be wrong since you don't know? Will I be wrong to say, okay, this is what I think it is?
well, first of all, that's a loaded question. So you cannot just say, would I be wrong? Then say, would I be wrong if I say it is for dominance? Because actually, even I can argue that, okay, well, I can see reason why you would say, well, maybe this really might be for dominance. All right. So that's one, it's a loaded question. But Dr. Perry already answered you, and that'll be up to them and the adherents of the Islamic faith and those that it would affect to say
Since
why.
okay, now
So
since you don't know the motive, can you then stop defending it then?
no, I'm not defending anything. What I am doing is I am correcting a lot of misconceptions that you guys are making. A lot
And
of
what is the
misconceptions.
misconception?
Well, like your fears, and you making wrong pronouncements, and you making saying things that are actually not under the tenets of
What
Sharia.
was our
Can
fear?
is it okay? Can I answer?
What was our fear?
So, well, your fear is that there's going to be Islamization. They're going to rape your women.
Exactly what I said. I
So,
said, will I be
Kenny,
wrong for saying that this is what I think the
I,
agenda is, since
okay,
you don't
okay.
know the answer?
Let's try this again, Kenny. And when you
Mhm.
said that, what was my answer to you?
You said you don't know.
No, I didn't only say I don't know. I said you asked a loaded question. I said if you only asked that, that would have been fine. But
Okay.
then when you brought up other aspects of it, I can probably see it from where you would
Okay.
say,
Now,
yeah,
what if I say that
well,
the agenda that is Sharia law of 18 is as useless as anything useless? Because we have Sharia law in Zamfara state. And since the adoption of Sharia law in Zamfara state, the only thing that I've seen them doing is to destroy alcohol sellers, to destroy alcohol, go against what they call it, anything that has to do with uh, Christianity. For example, you cannot, which happened recently, you cannot sell food when the Muslims are fasting. The only thing that we see them done with the Sharia law is to amputate young
okay. So
Muslims. The
Dr.
only thing
Perry,
that we
That
see
of
them
happens
do,
in Europe. I want to
the
respond
only them, the
to
only
this.
thing we see them do
You are
is
moving
to
this
destroy.
from where I was taking it
No,
to.
is to destroy women.
You know this one, they've answered it 1,000 times.
Yeah,
I
and
want
that
to
is
make a
why,
very big point,
and that
Kenny.
is why we are saying, since that is what we've seen them done, and these things are wickedness. These things are not acceptable in our society. For that
Perhaps,
reason,
hold on.
Sharia law should be ended in Nigeria.
Like you are like them. You want to just combat them. That's why two of you are going the way you like it that way. But
Can
when
I?
I'm trying to open our people's eyes,
Left for
the
me.
bigger problem,
Give
you
them
just want to
give
fight.
me the right tools. I will end this thing. We
Yes,
won't
Can I?
be
you just
talking
Can
want to
I?
about
fight
it.
Can I
them. You
respond to
are
that
just as bad as them,
objection?
really. You are just as bad as them. What you just want is fight. And Oyibo will give you gun, you go and kill your own. Just
Serious
like
fight,
Boko
though,
Haram is
because
killing
we
your
can't
own. That's all you
negotiate
want.
anything with these people.
Move on, move on, move on. Let's move on. I'm not having
Can
this.
I respond to that of talk? He said something that was very wrong. The speaker, what are they calling it? The leader, the previous speaker, the guy, Dr. Perry.
Very.
Is he Ali Perry or I don't? Dr. Perry and I want to respond to what they said. They said that in Yoruba land there used to be Sharia law. That's a big lie. That's the biggest lie I've had in. That's the last big
What do you
lie I've
mean?
had in
But
Turkey.
there were Muslims in Yoruba land now.
So
So
let me explain. That's a lie. So this is what happened that time. During the time when we had our ancient civilization, right? Islam actually came to Yoruba land through trade, right? Through trade with the Arabs
and
and those in North
conquest.
Africa. So as a result of that, they were exchanging ideas, right? They were exchanging ideas, exchanging economic transaction and all that. So because when you trade with other groups of people, you also get in some language, some linguistics. So that's why if you speak Yoruba, for instance, as a Yoruba person, there's some of things we say, they are kind of Arabic. You understand? So some of our customary laws, due to the fact that we're trading with the Arabs and all that, we incorporated it into our customary law. But that does not mean that Yoruba as a civilization had Sharia law. That's a bloody lie.
Okay, so Jide,
Because that's a
this
very
is
big lie.
Jide.
And that was what.
Okay, Jide.
Let him finish now.
Let me finish now.
There's nothing
Allow him
else
to
say
finish.
because
Allow him, please.
this is the
Allow
thing.
him to finish, please.
You have a
Jide,
tendency.
go on.
Kenneth will play around. Kenneth will play around. Calm down. So Jide, you have a tendency of when we're talking about something this
Forefathers
little,
moderate now.
you
Somebody
wanna
was speaking and he
show,
was
I
interrupted.
feel the
wanna
truth.
show
Be fair.
how vast
Allow him to
your
finish. You always ask for people to let you finish.
forefathers, he was done. There's nothing else to say.
I was not done. I've not finished.
You said
I'm
it
not
was a
finished.
He's
lie
telling you that he's not done.
land did not have
Don't
Sharia.
do this
And
now.
no-
You are the only Muslim here. Don't do this.
Let
Let
me
him
tell you
finish
what
his
happened at
statement.
that time. Let me tell
How
you.
do
I've
you know
read
I'm
about this
Muslim?
thing, the history of Islam in
He's
Yoruba.
Yoruba
How do
now.
you know I'm a Muslim? But because you
What?
want to talk.
Jide, go on. We're listening.
I have families that are Muslims.
No, I'm talking about forefather because you just want to talk and show us his January
I
nonsense.
said I thought you are the only Muslim. Let him finish. We appreciate
Let me just
your.
finish what I want to say. I'm not going to take too long because
You
you
take-
guys have
you-
been saying
you-
it since, and it's a very wrong point. See, it was like that in so many parts of Africa. They would trade with the Arabs and they will exchange linguistics. Some parts of legal system, not like they're imposing Sharia law, but it's just natural. You exchange culture, you exchange languages, you exchange so many things, ideas. So because of that, they incorporated some of those things in our customary law. The way we punished people, the way we treated our women was completely different. It was not Sharia law in any way. Our women had dignity, number one. I'm not saying Arab women does not have dignity. What I'm saying is our women, when they were treated, it was
They don't have dignity. Call it what it
Yes,
is.
they do. Can we stop that? Now, this is not the real point.
Let's do that. So what I'm saying is the way we treated our women, we treated our women properly. Like our women were treated the right way compared to what was done in the Islamic world. It's completely different. Even marriage and every other form of our culture was not Sharia. You understand? There were some little things, maybe inheritance and some other few things that were gotten from the Arabs and North Africans. But that does not mean we adopted Sharia law. We did not adopt Sharia law. And as a result of that, after colonialism, those vestiges of what we got from that time, we still practice it up to today. That does not mean that Yoruba land.
Jide, I really
don't take this out of context because you and that guy, you guys kept saying that and it drove me crazy.
Jide. It is always good, right? When you when you don't know you don't have an idea about something. Stop letting your emotions dictate, and then you bring it and pretend it's an intellectual fact. The truth and the fact of the matter is Sharia law has been in certain parts of Yoruba land since the late 19th, early 18th to late 19th century, up until today. Do you know?
Yes, that's Kwara, and I'll talk about the story of Kwara. I'll talk about the story of Kwara. Once mention Kwara, right? I will talk about the story of Kwara.
You've never heard me. If you listen throughout today,
but that was what your boss said. That was what your mentor said.
Not once.
He said it. He said Kwara State. He said Kwara.
Not once did you hear me mention Kwara. Not once throughout today.
What are you trying to say now? Just explain your points. You're not trying to bash me. Explain your points.
How am I bashing you if I said at no point did I mention Kwara? Where's the personal bashing in that?
Just make your point. Try to be specific.
Can you share an evidence? Can you share any evidence to back your claim that Sharia law has been in Nigeria prior to 1999?
What you said was wrong, but you said that you're saying the truth.
So let me talk. Take your emotions and
Bubure, can you share an evidence indicating that Sharia law has been in Nigeria prior to 1999?
Yes, in Ede.
Okay, share it, please.
I don't have to share. You have Google in front of you. You can.
No,
you can type
only see October 27, 1999.
This is what you
okay,
do.
now okay, let me clear something. Let me clear something. While you guys were discussing this, let's try to keep it civil. See, let's try to keep it civil. Today, let's try to enforce learning. Let's try to enforce learning.
I've been there before. There's no Sharia
law. Can we stop? I will be putting people backstage now.
What does that been there?
We have to start to. We have to try to learn something here today. Okay, I speak the truth. You're talking too much. I'm going to put you backstage. So, from what I can find so far, there is no evidence that there was Sharia law in Yoruba areas 100 years ago. Maybe there was Islam, but no evidence of Sharia law there. I don't know whether you disagree with that. Do you disagree? Yes or no? I speak the truth.
If you will, you know what? I'm gonna try this one more time, and if you guys will,
You could just say yes or no, and
no,
move
no,
on
no.
to the
It's
next
not a
thing.
yes or no question. You can't ask me a question that desires that requires an explanation, and then you say it's a yes or no.
No, it doesn't need an explanation. It's
Yes,
whether
it does
it's true
require
or
an
not.
explanation. If I've been saying the
Okay,
same thing,
let me
can
hear
you
the
let
explanation.
me talk? Can you let me talk? If we're saying, and we've been saying this over and over and over again, and we're mentioning towns and we're mentioning provinces, and you are coming and saying, I'm checking, it's not there. Kenneth's playing around
I
saying,
speak the truth.
it's not
I
there.
said something, you asked for proof.
Okay,
I
I think you
provided
just
a
came here to
proof.
waste our time today.
You
You're not
said
serious.
something, I
You're
asked
not
for
serious.
proof. You
No, I
asked me
don't
to
think
go
you're
and
serious.
search.
You
You
just
see,
came to waste our time today. This guy is
you
not
made
serious.
up stories here,
Just
and I
talking.
asked for
You
proof.
didn't finish.
You
Just
asked me to go and search. But when I
It's
made
a
my
good
own,
question.
I
Is
provided
it
my
true or
proof.
false?
Can
It's
you
not you
prove?
say yes or no.
Can you
You're
prove
talking
to
about
us?
every other person. Can I please? I'm getting fed up with this. Stop talking about every other thing. He said that Yoruba people are practicing Sharia 100 years ago or not. It's very, very simple. If you want to explain some parts, even if it's some parts, it doesn't matter. If some parts are practicing it, even if just one village is practicing Sharia, I will accept it that some parts of Yoruba is practicing Sharia. But is there any evidence for that? That's what I'm asking you.
So this is what we're gonna do, okay? This is what we're gonna do again. And I promise this will be the last time because I don't have time for this nonsense. I have fun with the other thing. This other nonsense, I don't have time for this childishness. Stop being feminine. Just relax. Pick when you're being childish. So if you have a pen, okay, you have paper next to you. If you don't, make use of your head and your brain, because I don't know if this is a comprehension issue or people just want to play games on here. I mentioned, just like Dr. Perry did, he didn't even do it. I came on here and I mentioned Ede. What is Jide's counter argument? I've been to Ede. Who gives a shit where you've been to? It's either Sharia law was being practiced in Ede or it wasn't. It's either Lagos State has Sharia law or it doesn't through the ISP. So you cannot come now and say these things don't exist in Yoruba land. Nobody said as a whole on blanket Yoruba land that Sharia doesn't exist. It does exist in certain parts, in certain towns, and they've been
Can you
carrying
show
on
us a
for.
proof that it existed?
Can
I say something, please?
Go ahead, Tony. Like this is not making sense.
No proof?
I am going to Google and I want to read something. According to available information, Islam and consequently Sharia law likely reached Yoruba land in Nigeria around 14th century, primarily through trade routes with the Mali Empire during the reign of Mansa Musa, bringing it into contact with the Yoruba people. However, the exact date of its introduction is difficult to pinpoint due to gradual nature of its spread. Muslim traders from North Africa and Mali played a crucial role in introducing Islam to Yoruba land, and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know if that helps.
The link, if you have the link, you send it because so I can get a context. From what I can see here, it says yes, the town of Ede, located in the present day Osun State, Nigeria, is historically a Yoruba settlement with a notable Muslim population. While Islam played a significant role in the town's cultural and religious life over 100 years ago, there is no evidence that Sharia law was formally practiced as the primary legal system in Ede. So
Okay,
maybe not the primary legal system, but
let me
maybe
give you the link.
was there.
What I did was I went to Google and I searched when did Sharia law come into Yoruba land, Nigeria. So maybe you can get that information.
Okay. That kind of question.
Now,
This is
now
like the
why
kind
you're
of question Nigerians will ask. Google will give you Nigerian answer.
now why you're doing that?
Oh,
Why you are doing that, forefathers? I want to. You said something about the Sudan and I think half of Europe was contesting, and I just want to reiterate what you said that in the Sudan, even as we speak, black people of black African descent are being harassed, they are being killed, particularly in the Darfur area, the Nuba Mountains, and the Blue Nile. Because even though South Sudan has gone, which is predominantly black and Christian and animist, you still have a part of the present Sudan, okay, the Darfur area, even in Khartoum, the Darfur has oil, and that's where they brought in Janjaweed in the year from 2000, year 2000, to intimidate, harass, kill, rape, women who are from African descent.
Allah, put your camera on.
But Tony, I didn't dispute that. What I disputed was Kenny's assertion that it was being targeted, not as you said, against blacks and Arabs, which we didn't get to speak on because of course forefathers keeps talking and talking. But Kenny said it was Christians versus or Muslims versus Christian, and this is what we were trying to say. Like, well, it's really not.
No, it wasn't.
That's
It
not what I
wasn't. It
said.
wasn't. The issues there.
I did not say that. Why are you making things up?
There are three
I
critical.
said
There are three. There are three critical issues in the Sudan crisis. I'm talking about Sudan without
South Sudan.
without South Sudan. Okay. If you go to the history of the Sudan, you find out. In fact, I think not much has been written about the trans-Saharan slave trade, because we talk so much about the transatlantic, but nobody has actually gone to take the statistics of the blacks that were taken through the Trans-Sahara to North Africa and to the Middle East. Now it's huge from the figures that we have gotten, and the question they have asked, where are they? Because that slavery was even worse than that of the transatlantic slave trade. They were castrated, they couldn't multiply, they were used, as they were treated even not as slaves, they were as subhuman. So you find out that a lot of them, were totally wiped out. Now, those who managed to survive and are assimilated up till today in Mauritania, down to the Sudan, because you had leaders like Sadiq Al-Mahdi, you have Omar Bashir, and even Dr. El Turabi, who were extremists and who, of course, that Sudan, the population is predominantly Arab and Islam. So they were people who actually, unfortunately, you have oil in the black-dominated areas in Darfur and in South Sudan, which eventually left. So even now, part of the problem that Sudan has is to manage the rebellion in the Darfur region, where you still have a good percentage of black people. They have been crying, they have been wanting to pull out from the Sudan. So what forefathers was saying, which I concur with and is true, is that those minorities that are left now in the Sudan are not finding it easy. But it's not a Christian Muslim thing. It's basically three things: it's racial, it's oil, and it's Islam.
Got it right. So that is the point I was trying to highlight here. That
and the target is for them to take control of the oil.
Stop this now. You do this all the time. The moment I want to talk about the topic, you interrupt me. I don't like it.
I think I was having a lag. I didn't know you were talking.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Because this is a very, very critical point. Because if our black Muslims are busy killing other black Muslims in Nigeria, but while they are busy killing other black people in Sudan because they are not Arabs, maybe they should see that what they are doing is wrong in Nigeria. Because sooner or later, it's going to be their turn to turn Arab. If you are not Arab, you die.
For that, they have been Arabized. They have been Arabized, just like their color. They've been Arabized because, they are not, they don't call themselves Africans, but because they are black, they're Arabs. You see them even when they play soccer and all that. They're Arabs, they're black people, they have been there, their great-great-grandfathers and so on have been there. They have assimilated into the culture. But they part of the problem is that they don't want them. They don't want them.
It's not just Sudan.
Yes, Sudan. Yes, Sudan.
Even in Mauritania, they still practice that slavery.
They do in Mauritania. Yes.
Now, there's a caste system towards black people in Mauritania. Egypt. I don't want to go into Egypt. Egypt is one of the most painful stories that I had. I don't want to go into that one. Egypt story. How they reprogrammed the history of Egypt and made it to be an Arab thing. And the real indigenous Egyptians They push them down south. I don't even want to go into that one. But
No, go into it when you go into the fact that there's also a caste system in Nigeria.
So
Caste system.
Yeah.
Caste system at least is within the same race. I'm not.
Yeah,
No,
What I'm
there
talking
is
about
none.
here
There
is
is none.
another whole civilization and a
No,
whole race.
it has
Yeah,
been
but
White
it
force
abolished.
out. It's something I don't
So
subscribe to.
you
It has
admit
been
that it
abolished.
exists.
You know, I admit that is that, but that's not the point. This is a
It
greater
has been
threat.
It
abolished.
definitely is
This
the
is a greater
point.
threat. Something that is happening. See, you know when family members are fighting, that's family members fighting. When strangers show up, you are supposed to get your act together and face the stranger. The problem with the Africans right now, we are not doing that, and we are forgetting that those same people are killing our people right now. They are killing people that look like you, even if you are practicing their faith. What
You
kind of
see,
nonsense is that? What kind of religion is that?
forefathers,
That is why we are advocating.
forefathers.
See, forefathers, that's why we are advocating for all of us, especially the Southern Christians, to come together and reject these people. Their agenda is cruel, their agenda is wicked, their agenda is devilish. We should
okay,
come together and stay away from these people. Let's join hands together and stay away from these people. Let them keep their religion, because I know their target is the crude oil in the south. Once they capture that crude oil, we are finished. We are
But
doomed. This is what they are doing.
Not only
So
Kenny,
crude
let's,
oil, we
haven't
just
as
they?
fast
owning our
as
crude oil.
possible, as
If
early as
that
possible,
if
get away from
so
these people.
okay, but
so can I,
if that's your
If
cry,
you like,
wouldn't
stay
you
there and be
wouldn't
claiming
you?
one Nigeria,
They
one
don't care
Nigeria.
about
They
crude
will
oil. They
But
don't
consume
even
if
all
care
of
your
about
us.
if
Islam.
your
That's the nonsense they are doing.
if your if your
can I make
claim
this point?
if your claim is that they want to take all the oil, at the same time we have agitations from all over the South saying the North already controls the oil. So which is it? Do they own all the oil in Nigeria, or are they aiming to take all the oil when they force all of you into becoming Muslims? But you cannot be both at the same time.
So
Mhm.
can I make this point?
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
I asked a question, and the reason for the question is to connect the dots. Um, Looking at our neighbors, the intent of Sharia law in Nigeria, then the question we need to ask ourselves is the Sharia law itself, what is the source? Because I heard Dr. Perry mention that, oh, we should go away with Western laws. Then, if we are going to go away with Western laws, even like my man, half of Turkey is in Europe. Sorry, I'm just like he mentioned, some Muslim dominated countries are using both secular and Sharia law. And if there's a point that we do away with Sharia law, then we should understand what is the source of the Sharia law. Because, okay, for example, where I'm resident, I have Muslim from other parts of the country, and I've asked similar question. We've had this discussion, and they've given me a very good point of where Sharia law is from. And one thing I've always done is when I meet Muslim from Nigeria, especially those that advocate for Sharia law, I always love to ask the same question. What is the source of Sharia law? Maybe we can start the debate from there, then have a mature conversation around the need. Like I mentioned before, most Muslims in Oyo State, and I can share videos where most Muslims are saying, no, we do not want Sharia law. While some smaller section are saying we want Sharia law. And the question we've asked, what is the source of Sharia law? If you guys want it, what is the source? And how do you think is going to address the issue on ground in Nigeria, especially in the current dispensation?
Go ahead. I think DMO haven't said anything since he joined us. Thank you for your patience. As you can see, some people here are incapable of explaining simple concepts concisely. So you're welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you
What do you
very much.
this?
Thank you, forefather. Happy New Year to those who have seen 2025 already. Yeah, this topic, I suppose it could be quite sensitive, and I don't want to be used ad hominems, but I can't stay away from it. I've met a lot of Muslims, and there was a time I tried to convert to take their shahada and all that, but thankfully I kind of researched the religion a bit. I have a question for half of Turkey, Europe. I suppose Sharia is a religious law, and you're meant to follow your Quran. Now, can you explain to me
Sorry,
chapter
you don't.
9? Sorry? You're meant to follow the
Explain,
tenets of your Quran.
explain chapter 9, but verse what?
Yeah, can you just explain a bit of chapter 9, verse 29 for
Okay,
me?
so this what I'm
When
not
you're,
gonna. Okay, so this
if
what
you
we're
link
gonna
it
do.
with the
First,
Sharia.
with all due respect, you don't know what religion I profess. You don't know what creed I follow. Okay, just I can speak about the Bible all day. I can speak very good about the Torah, and I can do very well with African religions.
But you've never
But
defended the Bible.
and
You only defend the Quran.
well, that's not true. I've quoted the Bible 1,000 times. Okay, so
Defending,
and
not quoting.
can it's okay. Can I please speak and stop trying to throw me off? Stop being childish, please. Thank you. So, with all due respect, I am not an Islamic scholar, and I'm not in the business of. And even if I was, which I understand what you're trying to do, even if I was, I would not engage you in that, because this is what happens with things like this. These are very disingenuous questions, okay? So you come with a question that you already have a presupposed answer to. So say I was to tell you that this is what you are asking, and this is my understanding of that text. You already have an answer. You would come in here, it is something that you will counteract and say, and we're going to go back and forth, especially just your pronouncements alone lets me know that you are not even versed.
How
And this
can
is
we
with
have
all
a
due respect.
conversation when you
Oh,
shy away from
yeah, you
responding
don't,
to others, but you always ask others to explain?
so
But when
you
you are
don't,
asked a question, you deviate from it and
so,
you start being
okay,
condescending.
so,
Answer the
so,
simple question. Let's have a conversation.
so, DMO, so Ken is an expert in that. For example, he will ask you a question that he already has an answer to, and which is what
How
you
do you
do.
know that I
So
already know the answer?
if we want to talk about chapter 9, verse 2, I will gladly give you the floor. You talk about it. Tell us what you think about it. That's fine. But we're not here talking about the
Okay, that
Bible.
means you've
We're,
never you ask any
not
question
here.
here,
We're not here
and
right now.
nobody is going to respond to your question anymore.
What we're doing is
No,
we're
can we
talking.
do that then? Since you don't answer question, nobody is going to answer your question.
DMO, so what we're doing is we're not in a religious debate. We're talking about politics. That's what we're talking about. We're not here to talk about the validity or the sanctity of the Quran or the Bible. But if that is what you guys want to do, I'll gladly listen to it. Let's keep on with the back. But if we want to stick to the topic, which is law, the legality of Sharia as it affects Nigeria, as it affects West Africa, I'll be glad to engage in that. But I'm not going
Okay.
to deal with disingenuous
So,
questions.
in that sense,
So hold on,
because
hold on,
the
hold on.
Sharia Court has
Take
been
it from here.
defeated,
Let me take it from here, Kenny.
no Sharia law in Nigeria.
The context of this in Nigeria itself, from what I gather, if you are a Muslim in Nigeria and you are in any of those states that they practice Sharia, you don't necessarily explicitly, it's not stated that you have the option to opt out of the Sharia this state law, which in the customary courts on that are in the other states, you are allowed to opt out anytime in and out. Based on your belief, but the Sharia one cemented it in. Like everything they do, it's
Exactly.
often very, very strategic, never to step backward, always march
Which
forward.
part of the Constitution does it say that?
The
Um,
1999 Constitution.
check it out yourself.
What
You've read it.
section?
No,
Oh, yeah, because I know what section 38 says. I know what
I
section 2
are
says.
Muslims allowed to
Hold
opt
on, you
out?
just asked me a question.
Before
So
you start talking, I don't want your see. I'm not going to
I know
put it again. Enough.
I know what section
I don't want
38.
your witty waffle all over the place.
So
Are
do you
Muslims
want
allowed
to?
to opt in or out? Are you? It's a
Okay,
simple question.
it's not a simple question, especially since you do not understand what section of the law talks about it.
See,
So you
Are they allowed to opt in or out? It's a simple question.
The legality. Can you let the other person talk? We're not talking
DMO
about.
asked
I'm
you a
letting you
question.
talk, but
Can
you
you
waffle
We're
answer
on.
not
DMO's question?
talking about
You
chemistry.
just
Okay?
waffle on and on and on. You don't want to answer a simple question, yes or no.
It is very simple. So you just mentioned a law. You mentioned the law, and I
I
said,
said that I said in the northern states where Sharia is practiced, are Muslims allowed to opt out?
No, that wasn't what you said. You mentioned a law.
Customary law in the South,
So
they're allowed to opt out of it.
You forefathers mentioned a law.
Customary court.
You mentioned a law.
What law are you talking about?
So I asked you, what parts of the Constitution
Are we still having this conversation?
does
Answer
that
DMO's question.
back up what you said? Okay.
So
So what I said was, you said I don't understand the Constitution, and I said, well, I understand what Section 38 says. I understand what Sections 271 to 275 to 279. I said I understand what they say.
Okay, you understand. So what is the answer?
You know what? Have fun. You guys.
You don't want to answer the question because you don't like the answer you're about to give.
I'm explaining to you what the Constitution
says. You
says.
don't want to answer it because you don't like the answer.
You just said, why would I like an answer that favors my position?
Then say it. Are Muslims allowed to opt in or are they not allowed to opt out? I mean, are they allowed to opt out?
Let the other person. I know you probably ate a parrot.
I think the truth is practicing takia here. They will not allow you to hold them on the blockhouse.
Jesus Christ! How
many that is what they are doing. Very slippery. Very slippery.
Can we move on? This discussion is taking. We spent quite a lot of time talking about this in the previous.
Hold on.
Can we move on?
You don't want to answer. You don't want to answer it.
Why would I want to answer if I mention the sections of the
because it's a yes or no and you are refusing to say it?
No, I said sections 275 to 279 and sections 38.
You're not going to get an answer. Don't worry.
That you can opt out. What part of that don't you understand?
You are seeing small, like very minute, very like little of what Islam is. Don't worry, I don't care.
That's all I wanted you to say. If you are saying you believe that Muslims can opt out of it,
you're not listening.
You think I was stupid to make a U-turn from Islam?
Talking over me now. I want to be fair to him. I am trying to listen to you, or you're not giving me the answer.
Because you're not willing to listen, and I think comprehension is an issue with you. So I keep saying,
it's not me on top of it. It's all good. See, point is a simple thing. You could have just said no. You could have just said no. They are not allowed to opt out, or yes, they are allowed to opt out. Simple.
You mentioned the Constitution, and I'm telling you what part of the Constitution is that. You said in the North, and I'm telling you that, look at him, ready to talk again. And I said sections 38 and 275 to 279, but you're not listening because you already have a preconceived notion of your answers.
That is why I'm seeking your answer.
What is wrong with you guys?
That's why I'm asking you.
Fathers, can I answer the question? Can I answer the question for you?
Somebody actually say that we are all Olodos wasting our time.
Can I answer the question for you, Fathers?
Please answer.
Yes. Okay. I'll answer the question in two ways. I know people who were Muslims, and when they became they left and they became Christians, there were serious sanctions. They faced very serious sanctions. So I want to suspect that if you are a practicing Muslim and you don't want to be tried, by in the Sharia Court, or you don't want to, there's going to be sanctions because Sharia actually, is part and parcel of the Islamic practices and faith. If you look at the origin of the Sharia, they trace it to the Quran, they trace it to the doings of the Prophet, the Sunnah, because he was settling cases for them in Mecca, after he succeeded. There were various wars.
Sorry, I'm not stopping you. Who was the Prophet? Sorry.
Prophet Muhammad.
No, he's not a prophet.
Hold on. You are not. You are not. You
Don't
are. You
mind
are
him.
not. Hold on. Hold on. You are looking for trouble. He
Yes,
is
so
a. Yes.
he's not a prophet. Never was
Yes.
a prophet. Let them,
Okay. For
if
the.
he's a prophet, let
Wait
them show us
now.
in the
Wait
Don't forget,
now.
both of them are the same.
Listen. 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 Let's not. Let's not. This is very sensitive. To the Muslims, he's a prophet. So
no,
you are a.
in the
You are,
Bible,
hold on. Hold
Bible
on.
did
You are.
not call
No.
him a
No. No.
prophet.
No.
Jenny, don't do this.
Hold on, hold on now.
Actually,
You are a Christian. You are a Christian. The
They
Christian.
say that in their Quran that
Wait
Jesus is
now.
not God in
Wait.
Quran. So Muhammad is not a prophet in the Bible.
No. In the Quran, Jesus is a prophet, and Nabi Isa. That's their own.
No, in the Quran they say that Jesus is not God. Then
No,
in
that's a
our
different thing.
Bible,
Oh,
our Bible did not refer to Muhammad as a prophet.
Can I leave this thing? We are not speaking what we are talking. I'm talking about the Quran. I'm talking about the Quran. The Muslim, for the Muslim, Muhammad is a prophet. He came after Jesus. That's their understanding. That's how it is.
Will they
Mm.
accept? Will they agree with Christians that Jesus is God?
Kenny, not
Can
every
I,
Christian
that's a
believes.
different thing you
Not
are
every
No,
bringing.
Go
Christian
ahead,
believes
sir.
that
Leave
Go
that.
Jesus is
ahead.
Let's
God.
not
let's
go
Go ahead,
into
sir.
that.
let's
Go ahead.
let's
Go
leave
ahead.
that out.
Not every Christian believes that Jesus is God. When I used to go to
No.
church,
If you don't believe,
my
you are.
denomination did not believe that
No,
Jesus is God.
no,
I
I think
believe
we should leave that out.
Excuse me.
Politics.
I speak the truth. I speak the truth. Please, let's not reduce this thing to Christian
no.
Muslim thing because,
I'm just.
yeah. So let's not. What we're discussing
Not all of us
is
believe that Jesus was God.
you
Even
are
as
entitled
a
to your
Christian,
you are entitled to your belief. Some
not
people don't
everybody is
even
a
believe.
Trinitarian, right or
Some
wrong.
people don't. Some people don't even believe that there's God. So
No,
let's
Tony,
leave. That's
Tony.
not an
Not
issue.
everybody is a Trinitarian, right or wrong. Not
I
every
don't know about
Christian
that.
is a. Not every
I
Christian
don't
is
know
a
about that.
Trinitarian.
I'm a Christian. I believe in Trinity.
You think every Christian believes in that Jesus is God? Are you going to
Half
really
of
tell us
talking,
that?
please stop that. Let's listen to him,
oh
please.
my God. Oh my
So,
God. That's
I
not
don't
the
think
issue.
you did answer
That's
my
not the issue we're
question,
talking
I
about
Honorable.
now.
understand,
I
but
think
All
we
of
you,
a
we are
you,
sudden,
Yes.
you.
debating.
But I mean, the mirror is on our faces now.
You see,
Does every Christian believe that Jesus is God?
that's not the issue that I'm
No,
tackling
it is the
now.
issue. It's a simple question.
No, you're going to take me off
No,
tangent
It's
just
because
a
just
big
because
answer
question,
because
him.
man.
No. Why can't you just answer question straight? Not all of them believe. Move on.
okay,
All he's
okay.
coming
Pastor,
is
you
to
carry
always
on.
to disagree, and he's not going to be true.
If you say so. So the Sharia is part of the practices of Islam. So every because it encompasses, the way they do things, the way they live, and so on and so forth. So that's understood. But you see, what we fail to understand is that in the Muslim sect, in Islam, there are sects. Just like you have it in Christianity, that half of Europe is trying to allude to. You have all kinds of sects, others, Tijaniya, Ahmadiyya, you have the Sunnis, you have the Wahhabis, you have all of them, even though they are Muslims, but there are some that are very radical, there are some that are liberal, and all these things affect their worldview about how Islam should be practiced. And so we must understand that. So whereas you find some Islamic teachers when they teach, they are radical in their teaching, and then you have some who are liberals, and they question some of the things that those radicals teach. They tell you that those things are not there because there are two things that form the entire Muslim worldview: the Quran, and then the doings of the Prophet, which is encapsulated in the Hadith. So all the other things are the things that Malams think and they teach, okay, and those ones are subjective because one Malam will teach you this, another one will teach you a different thing, and so on and so forth. So all those things have become a problem, a challenge. So the Sharia, has its laws, the way it should operate. It has a way it should operate. And the interpretation and the adjudication of that law sometimes, vary from place to place. I think that was part of what the doctor was trying to say, that there is the practice, there's the law itself, and then there's the practice. And some of the issues that they are encountering now is in the practice of the Sharia. So some of them have raised questions.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
made a lot of
Yes,
you're
sense.
making
yes,
sense. So
yes.
let's bring in DMO. I don't know. Do you have anything to contribute other than the question, so that we can go to Jide and Weibo? Welcome, Weibo from Ghana, and obviously Ghanaians are envious of Nigerians. They are just always envious. It's always like that. It's okay. You're welcome. All right. So yeah, do you have anything to add to this DMO? Because the conversation I'm trying
Thank
to
you
make
very
it,
much.
you know,
Thank you,
fine.
forefathers, for calling me back. I suppose I wasn't surprised that my question wasn't answered anyway. But what little I'm just gonna say, Nigeria is a secular country. It's meant to be guided by secular law. There shouldn't be any religious law in Nigeria. That's all.
Okay, yeah, there shouldn't be really. And how do we roll it back now? I think I should argue that. How do
For,
we?
for,
Is
for,
it possible to
forefathers,
even roll this back so that we actually become like Turkey? Turkey is almost 99%
Forefathers,
Muslim, and
forefathers,
yet
we
Turkey,
can actually
they claim
create,
it's secular.
yeah,
Turkey
we
is
can
even
forefathers,
actually
far.
create what they call it. I've forgotten the name, where we can all begin to sign. Nigerian youth, Nigerian citizens who, campaign against Sharia law. That Sharia law
Yeah,
should be eradicated from Nigeria.
we should
We
have
should begin
one.
to
We should
campaign.
have one main
We
universal
should
law,
campaign against
and the
that.
rest has to be. See,
Yeah.
my thing is, it should not be criminal, and they should not
for,
impose it on states like that. It should only
Forefather,
be civil. If you want to do it at all, only civil.
for, forefathers, you see, the problem that we're having now, I would say 60% is coming from the government. If you say that Nigeria is a secular state, although I doubt that, my even though it's probably in the constitution, for my thinking, Nigeria is a multi-ethnic and multi-religious country. If you
exactly.
say that Nigeria is a secular state, then the government has no business paying money for people to go to pilgrimage in Mecca. They have absolutely no business. If you say Nigeria is a secular state, you have absolutely no right, going by the constitution, paying money for Christian pilgrims to go to Jerusalem. Meanwhile, you are not paying anything for people who want to go to Tokoto, for their pilgrimage. You are not paying money for those who don't even who are
Who,
atheists or
who
who
want
are
to go and perform
whatever.
our ritual
Yes, so you don't give them any money. So
as if we are not existing.
yes, because it's their money that you're using. So it doesn't make sense. So that's why I say Nigeria is not a secular state, because if it's secular, then you do secular things. So that's where the problem is coming from. The government should hands off religion, take religion
Mm.
to the backbone, and let the people who are practicing it practice it.
And,
You just
also
give the temp,
stop using state money to build mosques, national mosques, build
yes, and all
national
those things.
Christian
Yes,
center.
yes, and
Stop
all those
using,
things.
yeah,
Yes, and that's
because
in
nobody has ever
imam
built
cars
temple for
and
us.
pastor's cars, and you don't do that. So you can't be secular and you are doing that. So that's part of where the contradiction is coming from.
Which is what I've been asking all day. I said, what is secularity? And nobody could answer it, because if we want to say something is secular, maybe, and
Now, what we should be doing
this is
is
where
to
even the
campaign against
Muslims
such
are having
practices that are not supposed to
even
be
the
in a
Muslims are
secular
having
state.
a problem, because if we accept we are being disingenuous, okay, and we don't want to face the
Can I say
reality.
something
What
about
is the
what
law?
forefathers
What is
said?
the law that governs Jide? Like, damn, when did you become like this? So, what is the law that governs the Nigerian space? Okay, if we say secularity, we have fashioned our laws, and I'm saying this to you, Tony, because you're very intellectual, obviously, when you choose not to be disingenuous, right? So, if we say our laws are fashioned after the United States, which the United States fashioned its laws after that of the English, which the English fashioned its laws after what? Without mincing words, after Christianity, after the Bible. Okay, this is what they did. So our laws in Nigeria that everybody is on here blabbing and screaming and saying circular is actually fashioned and modeled after Christianity. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. And just like forefathers just said, and I've been saying, and I even told Perry, which other states in the Arab region are doing, even Indonesia outside of that region, what they do is they have taken Sharia law and they have kept it on one side, the criminal element of it, which the criminal imposition of sentences, right? In but they've dealt with the civil aspects. And this is what will it be a problem? And like Perry rightly said, why would you care if Muslims said we want to be governed under Sharia law to settle disputes like marriage, divorce, inheritance? You can't shake your head, Demo, because for example, in the southeast of Nigeria, where Christianity is prevalent, women do not have the right to inheritance. It is coming now, it is changing a bit, but why would Muslims, where women are given the right to inheritance, for example, I see you stop shaking your head. That's beautiful. So why would women want to subject themselves to your type of
No,
law?
is it not in the same
You are
Muslim
mentioning
that a
it
woman
as
can
much
be
as you
kicked out
want to.
Why
anytime
would
You
women
see,
want to
the fact
and
that I
subject
kept
remarried
quiet
themselves?
and
doesn't mean that I can't
Why
talk.
would
replaced?
You
women?
understand?
Why
I
would
know
A
you.
women
I
woman
know
can
how
be
much you are
subject?
divorced
trying to
anytime
apply
and
Why
be
would
patriotism
replaced
women?
without
here.
Okay,
You
contest.
understand?
why would women want to
That's
subject
not true.
themselves to
I
No,
don't
your
think
type
that's
of
not true. In the
law
southeast,
where
that's not
it's
true.
women
not
There's
true.
in the
actually a
South,
case law
why would women, I'm
It's
for a
going
not
to
true.
ask
woman
this
to
question.
inherit
I'm
things.
going to ask this
That's
question.
not true.
Why
That's
would
not true.
Muslim women, for example, that can get justice in an Islamic Sharia court when
No,
it comes to
they don't get justice.
inheritance
What
They
of
kind
get
of justice
marriage,
stoned
do
to
they
death.
get?
when it comes
Their
to
They don't
Quran
get
says a
justice.
inheritance,
woman
They
I
get
has
will
half
ask
stoned
my
intelligence
to
to a
death.
man.
question.
Don't
So
They
say
don't
that.
get.
why would
That's not
women
true.
They
in
can be
That's
Islam,
replaced
not true.
anytime.
Women are subjugated in
why
Islam. What
would
are you
In
talking
women,
about?
Islam,
okay,
the
so
That's
Sharia
not
law
true.
stipulates that a
these
man can
subjugated
wake up in
women,
the morning
okay, so these
and
subjugated
decide
women,
to divorce his wife. In Islam, Sharia law stipulates that
One at a
a man
Under
can
the
time.
flog,
Sharia law,
can
a
use
woman
cane,
is
subjugated
under
can
a
women,
use
man.
Okay.
cane
That's the
and
truth.
why
flog
Said
his
would
that.
these
wife.
That's not true.
All right, Jide. Like I said, the question remains, why, how do you think Nigeria, if possible, can roll back the Sharia law in the system? It doesn't have to wipe it out. Just make it more benign, like for family disputes and land issues, and amongst people that agree, all groups should be allowed to opt out of it. That is the minimum that would have been preferred, or completely wipe it out. And the same thing in the south, customary law goes away, everything goes away, and we just make the Nigerian state secular. Um,
Brothers.
so how do we do that? No, no, sorry. You've been talking. Let's
No,
Jide.
no, I've not been talking. No, I've been chipping in, I've not
Yeah,
been talking.
but hold on
No,
now. Let Jide answer the question. So, how do we roll this back? And because right now where we are going, everybody's forming their own different kind of country, different rules, different, which it can survive with, but there has to be a strong center. And I worry that the Sharia law, as a matter of fact, not only me, a lot of people worry about this, that the Sharia law seems to be trying to break that central control
Yeah.
of the state. So how do we roll this back and keep that in check?
Yes, thank you so much, forefathers. Yes, so this is my answer. So first of all, one of the things that I would like to talk about regarding answering this question is, if you look at how other countries have done it, where, for instance, a country
forefathers,
that
why
used to
can't I
be a
comment? Why
religious
you
state.
block me from commenting?
Okay, so if you look at an example, like to put things into context, we need to look at countries that used to be religious states and eventually became secular, and you will realize that how they were able to evolve from their far right religious states to secular states came through revolution. I will give 3 examples. The first one is France. If you look at before the French Revolution, France used to be a monarch in the 18th century. There used to be a monarch, and due to the impact of the merchants, right, there was a revolution. I don't want to go into the story of what happened with that revolution. Due to the effect of the revolution, we could see that was when the beginning of the separation of church and state began. And you see that now, even though France has a rich history of Christianity, France is now strictly a secular state. Another example I'll give is Iran. Not Iran, forgive me, Russia. The Russian Empire used to be a Christian state. In fact, there used to be, the whole of Europe used to be Christendom, right? There used to be a heavy Christian. I'll use Islam as an example too. I'll use Algeria. But before I go to Algeria, I'll talk about Russia. If you look at what happened in Russia in the early 20th century, Russia was a Christian monarch state. They had some Muslim minorities, right? But it was Christian monarch state. There was a revolution in Russia. I don't want to go into what happened with that revolution, but that revolution also was built under the ideology of a secular ideology of communism. Communism was able to absorb all religions and separate it from what the state should be like. It was under a secular ideology. But what happened was before it got to that point, there was a bloody revolution. Now use Algeria, which is a Muslim, which used to be a French colony, and also there was even an attempt for it to be Islamized like Nigeria, but it failed. Algeria used to be a French colony. Algeria was able to liberate itself from France in the early 19th, I think in the early 1960s. They were liberating themselves from France. However, they still had another virus, just like in Nigeria. It was the radical Islamic.
Dude, what's all these history lessons you be giving? Just
oh my God.
The
point I'm making is,
let me finish, please.
The point, okay, let me continue what I'm saying. So what happened was that radical Islamic political sect, they wanted to Islamize Algeria. They wanted the Sharia, they wanted Algeria to be an Islamic state. So if you look at the 1990s, there was a bloody war in Algeria to whitewash and cleanse off these radical Islamists rebels that they were militants of the Muslim Brotherhood that wanted to Islamize Algeria. And now Algeria, even though it's a mostly Muslim country, it has been able to manage the effect of Sharia and radical Islamic ideologies. So now Algeria basically is a secular state. So what I'm thinking now, let's look at Nigeria. How can Nigeria do that? It has to be through a secular ideological revolution. Either through that, or there have to be a vote, and where we have to reach a consensus of how we have to relate and how we have to rule each other. Either of the two. Either the peaceful way, we have to negotiate and discuss how we are going to rule each other, or through the inevitable way, which many of us don't want, a bloody revolution. That's my answer.
Thank you. Often that's what it tends to come down to. I really wish there is a way to keep this. So far, they've kept it in check because all the states needs to approve these things before it comes to fruition.
Yo, why you block me from commenting, bro?
No. Why would I block you? I never block anybody.
I don't know. So why can't I comment?
I don't know. Maybe YouTube doesn't like you or something.
I want to ask Jack when I'm crap.
I don't know. I don't block anybody. I've never blocked anybody.
Because I'm trying to ask Jack when crack is smoked already in 2025. You know?
So yeah. Okay. So I don't know whether I should ask you this or go to the next person. I think Onwibo hasn't said anything for a long time about this. But is there no way to do it? We have to figure out a way to do it. Because my worry is that the South too is complicit in this. Because this is a democracy we are in. It's a democracy. And democracy means that if you have numbers, you vote for certain things, you get your way.
Yes.
And right now, the North seems to be growing faster. And the South hasn't made any effort to kind of nail it into the constitution so that it's almost impossible, like requiring 2/3 or 90% of the states.
That's why I say, we can actually create a petition right now on this platform and we begin to distribute same link to all platforms. Let's begin to sign against Sharia law in Nigeria. This is what we can do for now, right? I don't think any of us is ready to pick up arms because there's no way you can stop these people now. You can only begin to create this awareness both in diaspora and in Nigeria through petitions. And we can actually find a means of getting it to the National Assembly, submitting it there. Let them see that Nigerians are not accepting this. We're not happy with this.
Let me ask, how many states does it require to make a constitutional amendment? Is it just 50% or 75% of states? How many is
I think it's 2/3, right?
To
It's
tell
two
the
thirds
Uh,
of the national assembly.
forefathers,
I'm not sure,
forefathers,
but I think it's
No,
two thirds.
it's going to be difficult if you go through
forefathers,
that route.
forefathers. Let us be.
country.
We're dealing here with an issue that is very sensitive. My thoughts are that Nigeria has much more compelling problems already to let this very emotive and sensitive issue to even cause a deeper gorge in the problems in the quagmire that we're already in. Listen, let us tell ourselves the truth. The Constitution guarantees everybody the right to practice his religion,
Mhm.
and we must not take it away from anybody. But even in doing that, freedom of worship, freedom of speech has its own limits. It's has its own checks and balances. Where the practice of your religion portends danger to the other person, then that's the issue. Now, the question we have to ask is, why are some people not comfortable with the practice of Sharia? There's something they are seeing. There's something that they're perceiving. How has the practice of Sharia in the states that are currently doing it affected those people who are not Muslims? Or how has it affected the people who are Muslims themselves? Are the Muslims willing to submit themselves to the discipline or sanction that the law of Sharia provides when they fail foul of the law?
Yeah,
I mean,
that, that
I've not seen a governor who says, I don't want to be tried in a conventional court. Try me, maybe who is charged for stealing, some dollars. I don't want to be tried, in the secular court. I want to be tried in the Sharia court. I've not seen any governor. I've not seen any. Well, not one governor. I've not seen.
exactly. So I get you in terms of the priorities in terms of within the nation. My concern with this is that at the time when you want to be marching forward in a kind of unified manner, you have to confront some of all these things that could rear its head and cause division among the people. Just like they use tribes to divide us. That somebody would be like, you know, those guys, they don't like your Sharia principles. Like,
So my solution
let's do
really.
this together. They will use it to divide us and do whatever they like with us. So we have to be on the same page on all these things.
Yes.
If it's to be restricted to only those states, I don't think it should be. They should have brought into criminal cases at all.
My,
That is
my, my, my suggestion honestly would be, maybe to solve this problem, let us go back to regionalism. So let them deal with their issues themselves and not
One,
affect all the other parts of the country
one,
you want to say.
with their
Hold on. When you say regionalism, are you talking about the six geopolitical zones?
no, the way
south,
it was
south
before.
and
Let,
north.
Okay,
Let's
you don't
start
like
with
that.
south and
wait,
north.
Don't do that. I don't like
let them
that.
go.
Do that. Don't do that.
Go
Don't
to
do that.
go
Don't do
to
that.
your
When you do that, you
No,
sound like
no,
those racist
no,
old white
Tony.
people that like to go back to
no,
the 50s. You
no,
sound
no, no.
like
What I'm saying. Listen,
because
we're
you
trying
wake
to
up
solve.
at that time. You know that's when people didn't favor a lot of people.
We're trying to solve a problem. Okay,
Don't do that.
that
Don't
is
bring.
contentious.
It's like the regional system is the
So,
golden age of
so
many of the US.
I want
Jesus
to go back.
Christ.
I want to go back to my Midwest. Yes, I
Can,
stay in
Well,
my Midwest, and nobody's going to come to tell me nonsense.
you
Okay,
know
no,
what? If you
so
say
you
Tony.
go back to your own.
hold on. If people want to go to see geopolitical zone as regional system, I don't have any problem with that. Personally, I actually think that the states are practically regions on their own right now, where their
They are
governors
not.
are immune. They do whatever they like in the country. Look at
So,
what
They are
so
El-Rufai
not.
did
Father,
with Buhari the other day.
They are
Let's
not.
we
move on.
we can't talk about regional system now. With the issue on ground, I think the immediate issue now is the introduction of Sharia in Southwest, and these guys are starting from Oyo State. Now, from people on ground, I'm not on ground. I will tell you the truth. From families and members on the ground, Muslims have come out to say no. And when you listen to argument from Muslims that are that are not from the Southwest or from Oyo State, they are making cases. And it will be good to also listen to the Muslim in Oyo State And the question, to tie the question that Tony asked, that what has been the benefit of Sharia? Why was it introduced in the first place? Then go back to my first question. Our neighbors.
Ola, how did you manage to start talking again now? Our guy in Ghana hasn't said
Please,
anything.
please let me land.
Jagun probably
Sorry,
gave
let
him
me
some
land.
of his crack.
Okay, you know, you have been very patient, but please finish that, or Wimo can say something. You know, it's
So
in Africa.
when you amalgamate Tony's question with the question I asked earlier on, why is it that Chad, Niger, that even share that are predominantly Muslim, why have they not practiced Sharia? Then you will begin to extract your answers from it and then query the underlying philosophy or the intent of bringing Sharia to Oyo State. I think in the immediate term, the solution is that whatever intent they have with Sharia law should be put on hold. Let's even evaluate what has been the benefit of Sharia in the North. A lot of the disadvantage and issue people have seen with Sharia has been put forward. Can we critically analyze those issues? If this guy can now look at it and look at how Sharia has been done, because Jide made mention of Algeria, the same thing with Tunisia. Tunisia as of today is not practicing Sharia law. Implementation has been one of the
Yes.
fundamental issues. If you go deep into studying why Sharia has not been
But
practiced
listen,
in all
this is
these
very
areas.
disingenuous, okay? Because Sharia has been practiced in places like Kuwait. But you people keep pulling up places that do not
No.
practice.
See,
Wait, wait, wait. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm using my
Kuwait,
neighbors
successful
and
countries like
people that
Kuwait.
share the same skin with me as an example first, before I will go with Kuwait are Arab. Now, if you want to bring it to historically, Dr. Perry did mention about Kemet. He talked about Kemetic laws. Now, let's lay the foundation. The Kemetic laws are different from the laws of Moses. In Kemet, Moses' laws was part of the laws that was used in Kemet. But over time, there were other laws that were added because the Kemet are known for their philosophy. They are the Egyptians of today, before the Arab came and conquered
Oh
them.
boy, here we go.
Now, if we go to, no, you will not see, try to listen to other people and extract some fact from them. If we are not open to debate and listening to other people, there's no way we can learn. If we talk about history, this is the history. And I ask you, what is the sources of Sharia law? And I'm going to, since Dr. Perry laid a foundation of Sharia law to the laws of Moses, and I said it's not only the laws of Moses.
Hold on.
Dig deeper.
Nigerian law is fashioned because see, this
Can
is
I
the this is
finish? Can
no,
I finish before
you
you jump
can't.
in? Can I
Which
finish?
laws? We're not listening to laws about Kemet. Okay, we all know these things. Okay, so
No, because
which laws are
Can
the
you
Nigerian?
allow
source
him
you
to
guys put
finish? Can you
forward,
allow him
Nigeria's
to
the
finish?
constitution
source,
today is
Dr.
fashioned
Godfathers,
Perry.
after
please
which
do your
laws?
job now.
Yeah. No.
Now,
Give me the button. Let me do
One
the
mic.
job.
Leave it. One mic. I
if
wish
you
I can
guys
give you the
have
mic so you can keep them in check so that I
no,
just
if
ask
Yeah.
you guys
two
put out the
questions.
information that
Kenny is
the
crazy.
Sharia law, one of the sources of Sharia law is the laws of Moses, and you're saying, okay, my custom is part of the laws of Moses, and I'm putting it to you that go to the sources, ask the Arab guys, they would illustrate the sources of Sharia law. Sharia law also stems from the tradition and customs of the Arabs. If you go
No,
deeper into the
all
provisions
I
of
know it
Sharia
doesn't.
law, you will see all those things.
All I
And
know
there
it
are
doesn't.
certain,
It does, please.
No, it doesn't. Okay, so
okay,
I don't know
I'll
how much
listen to
you.
you.
I don't know how much you like to pretend that you know about Islam, and you need to stop pouting today. You look like a angry 5-year-old baby. So
Can I go? Can I go on? Can
So-
I
No,
make my point? Let me just make my point. Let me make my point. I beg, please. I cannot continue to listen to all this back and forth. Let me go on with my own because you have spoken. Half Europe, you've spoken for quite some time, so nobody. Let me just speak my own before. And Tunaja, please, I urge you to protect me as I make my submission. I don't
You're a
want
soldier.
any.
What do you need protection for?
Anybody
I'm a retired. I'm a retired. I don't have my weapons. I don't have my accoutrement to engage you, so I cannot fight you. I'm a civilian, just like
you should try. You'll try.
So thank you so much. So you see, I do not know the reason why Nigerians and Nigeria will always look for retrogressive methodologies of solving problems. You see, in 1999, I was in active service, one mechanized infantry division in Kaduna, when Ahmed Yerima of Zamfara State introduced Sharia. Do you know the people, foreign countries that supported him, gave him so much billions of dollars to implement that in Nigeria? That was Saudi Arabia, as alleged. Turkey was there as well. But my problem at that time was, why will Obasanjo, knowing fully well the problems, how problematic that is, allowing it to stand January 2000? The Sharia incident and the riot that was
My brother, sorry.
What happened to him?
Sorry, my brother. Don't be angry. Ahmed did not introduce Sharia. Sharia has been there. He introduced Sharia as a state religion. So that's the issue. That's what I just wanted to correct.
Thank you.
No, not as a state religion. What he introduced was the criminal.
Can we just let him finish his submission,
the
please? Let him
criminal
finish his submission.
element of it.
He actually begged that you protect.
Okay, now, you see, Uncle, what I'm trying to say is this. Sharia, see, throughout, the reason why Sharia did not come out as it is now was we were there. We were controlling the affairs of Nigeria. No matter how bad the military was, okay, we were controlling things. We would tell you whether to practice Sharia or not, irrespective of the Abuja Declaration, irrespective of 1971 or 70 something, participation and the position, observatory position Nigeria has in OIC. And when Babangida ratified it, I think 1986, as a full-blooded member of OIC, the military were controlling things. We wouldn't allow you to do anything that is going to destabilize Nigeria, as at that time, irrespective of how bad the soldiers were. Now I ask you, why couldn't some of the governors who are Muslims, pure Muslims, introduce Sharia as a state law when the military were still in place? Why couldn't they do that? Power moved away. Power came to south. There is no other point in order to create disadvantages and all kinds of things. Ahmed Sherima introduced it immediately. The scepter of authority was handed over to a Yoruba man from the southern part of Nigeria. We saw all those things happening as at that time. And I am vividly going to tell you people how these things happened at that time. The support that man garnered was so heavy. Do you know the number of people that lost their lives during that Sharia, riot in the entire north? Do you know how many businesses that were destroyed? How will you introduce something that that is meant to take care of you, your religious belief, tradition, and custom, and you will allow it to affect me? That is not. I have nothing to do with Islam. Why will you do that? If Nigeria is a secular state on paper, as the constitution says, why will someone now introduce a law that is going to, disadvantage me in the state that you say that everybody has the right to live, do your, religion, everything, businesses, anywhere in the country? Why will you make a law, a state law that looks so
Good point.
superior
Good point.
than the 1999 constitution? Why will you allow that
Good
to
point.
happen? Because they did these things. What you see, there is a lot of Nigerians, I would say this to them, and I don't mean to denigrate anybody. What Nigerian, Muslims probably is the extremist aspect of Islam. I have been to Saudi Arabia. I have been to Dubai. I've escorted Mohammed Abacha to Saudi Arabia, Mecca. When you go there, you see them. And for those of you that will argue, why are they not doing the same thing? Where you have 99.9% Islamic, you don't need to introduce Sharia because everybody agrees to the tenet of Islam and their cultures and traditions. So what is happening in Nigeria is that you have virtually more people, more Muslims in Nigeria, and they scattered right across the federation everywhere. And you have this tussle, which religion will rule the other. That is what is going on in Nigeria. That is what is going on. The criminal aspect of Islam is what the extremist view of Islam is what they are introducing in Nigeria. And is it not shameful? Is it not shameful that Nigeria cannot even manufacture anything with the kind of resources God has given to Nigeria? Nigeria should be exploring space. Nigeria should be exploring, enter into space industry. Nigeria should be a country with the kind of human resources that God has given you, the natural resources God has given you to lead even most of the European countries. But all the time, we will come out here and be doing things, introducing things that will bring you 30, 40 years backward. Tell me, which country where the Islam come from are amputating their people when they steal fowl? And go to Zamfara State, they are amputating people when they steal fowl. But politicians of the same, religion will steal billions and nothing will happen to them. Like someone said here, they will never be tried, allow themselves to be put under Sharia court. They won't allow that. It is only the Talakawas that they are using, and to use it to destroy the democracy, so-called democracy Nigeria is practicing, if at all is democracy. So that is what they are doing. We saw it. Look, let me ask you again. The army, the military hierarchy was dominated by Muslims as at that time of northern extraction. Why couldn't they introduce Sharia to states that time? Why did they leave it?
God bless
Why
you.
did they leave it? So these are some of the things we need to ask ourselves. I want a Nigeria, if it is really going to work, that is going to go into, productivity instead of retrogressiveness. That is the only thing I want to see in that country. But if religion is going to be a tool to destroy people and to destroy their lives, my brothers and sisters, I will tell you that it is better to destroy that foundation that holds Nigeria together so that everybody will go to their home and region and practice their religion. If I want to come into your region, then I will come there and obey all your rules over there. So you will not use your religion to intimidate those people that are minority in those areas where these religions have been practiced. I yield here.
Thank you for that. I don't think that religion is probably going to be our biggest undoing, because I don't think when they came before they used religion. It's mostly tribe they used to divide us. But I guess religion doesn't help when we have different views on it the way
So
we are
this
having
is
today.
just to add to what you said, forefathers, and just what even Awinbon said. He made a lot of good points, because one of the major issues is that we forget to realize that even during colonialism, there was a recipe of religious separation of those territories. So what do I mean? when Nigeria was about to get a so-called independence, what the British did was they gave power to the North. So even the Southern leaders, I think it was Awimbu that said that thing. That even when Obasanjo ruled Nigeria in 1999, it was complicit when they implemented Sharia law in Zamfara State. That's because his election as president of Nigeria was validated by the Northerners, because the Northerners, the structure of political leadership is still being controlled by the North under the supervision of the British. And that has not gone in Nigeria up till now. And that's the reason why they can try to implement expansionist Sharia policy in Nigeria aggressively. But I'll stop there for now.
So
Thank you.
what I think, what
Okay,
I
go
think,
ahead.
1 minute. What I think, if you ask me, is that the force to introduce Sharia law in Nigeria, if you check the history, they did it under Obasanjo. Now they are trying it under when you have a Southern president, a president from the Southern extraction. Now, if you ask yourself, you will almost want to conclude that this is a political tool that has been used by the North. Even
Correct.
if I don't want to say this, that will be my conclusion.
Okay, so let me just quickly say something.
You see what happened during
People steal
Obasanjo?
billions under the current.
That is what is trying to be replicated
It's
now.
okay. Like when you guys were
Trying to use the
talking,
Sharia law
you
as a
did not
bargaining
talk.
chip in
Now
order
that I
to.
started talking, you want to start interrupting me
No, no, no,
again.
no. You've been
You're
talking
using
now.
my
You've been
names.
talking.
No,
You've been
so
talking. You've been
let me
talking.
speak. So
You've been talking.
under the secular laws that we currently have in Nigeria today, people still steal billions, and this is not saying Sharia needs to be criminalized, okay? So because I don't understand the hypocrisy. Under the secular laws that we have in Nigeria today that we run, politicians still steal billions of dollars and they get away scot-free. At the same time, less than 2 or 3 days ago, a person was released from prison after spending 14 years in prison in southwestern Nigeria for stealing a chicken. So let's not pretend that what the North is doing is not political. If you say it is bad in their implementation, like Dr. Perry was trying to tell y'all, we agree. But when you discount places that these people have been successful, not only in southwestern Nigeria, but in Qatar, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, places of that nature. But it seems like you guys, for whatever reason, which I think is actually deceptive, I don't think it's whatever reason, for deceptive reasons, you pick out countries where
But those
they
countries you
have
mentioned,
where they
are
have
they in
made
Africa?
where you have picked out
No, no,
countries
no. All
where
those
they
countries you
have
mentioned, are they in Africa?
you have picked out countries where they have politicized
Oh, you're
and that
contradicting yourself
where they
because they are
have
not
where
African
you have
countries.
picked
They
out
are
countries
Arabs.
where they have
Oh,
politicized and
man.
No,
bastardized
you see,
the
the agenda is to make
implementation
us all
of this kind
embrace
of law.
Arabic culture.
This is
That
what
is
you
the
guys
agenda,
are
and that is why they
this is
always
what you
start.
guys are doing.
They always start an example with those Arabic countries.
The
See,
northern
I
Nigeria
have no
will
business with Arab.
continue. Northern
I
Nigeria will
cannot accept
continue to
Arabic culture.
politicize this
It
kind
is
of
not
thing,
done.
which
I'm
is not
African.
what.
It's okay. Let's have the next AY. Thank you for joining us. It looks like you
Oh,
are.
AY, you're on. What's up, bro?
Another canker one. He
Why?
called me.
Hey, let's be nice now. This is the new year. This is 2025 AY. That is like a ghost right now. What's going on with you now, AY? What do you make
AY,
of
Sorry,
we
all?
can't see
Forefather.
you,
You know
man.
we don't have light. We don't have light. I'm
Oh,
Oh,
just
you
this
in
guy.
Nigeria?
You're not in Nigeria now.
no.
Uh,
There
oh,
is no
you're in
light
Nigeria.
in my city. Yeah,
That's cool. Oh, well
Damn,
done. Well done.
you living next to righteous man.
yeah,
Happy New
exactly.
Year. Hope you're having fun in Nigeria.
Yeah, um, yeah, yeah. I
Okay, with
mean,
all the dirty
happy
December,
people.
I'm sure you must be feeling a little bit uncomfortable with all the conversation going. You are
Not
rolling
really.
around.
Not really. I'm just surprised at people high level of ignorance. You
Yeah,
know.
But why
That's
do
what is
why do people say that often when they question something to do with Islam, they'll say it's because you don't understand it. When in reality, people are watching people like Deborah give murder that Fulani, this not Fulani, I mean terrorists using the faith to do all those things, and then they are passing rules that are so stiff and tough within a nation that is threatening to actually overwhelm the nation's institution. Then we say we don't understand why people are reacting like that. Come on, we know why
No,
this.
no, no. I mean, you have a point. The case of Deborah, I heard people. I was listening here and there. People were saying like, "Oh, that's Sharia." It's good justice. It's not Sharia. Deborah death has nothing to do with Sharia. So it's just like how you have all the juggle justice in Lagos, in that part of the country.
Yeah,
The only thing. Hold on,
those
hold
jungle
on, hold
justice,
on,
they are
hold on,
not saying in the name of
hold on,
Jesus.
hold on,
That's the
Oh
hold
yeah,
on,
difference.
hold on, hold
that's a
on.
difference. Does
The
that make sense to you?
the
Yeah, they are
only
not saying in the name
problem.
of Jesus. That's the problem.
Oh, Father, hold on. Ah, that no wonder your panelists they are just rowdy
Oh, look
because
at
you
this
are
one. Look at
rowdy.
this one. He was
Okay,
go
let
ahead.
me say this.
Oh,
They
Father,
shout
let him
Allahu
land. Let
Akbar.
him land.
Let me say this. Let me
Let
say
Allah
this.
be praised.
You are not a baby now. Why you behaving like a tout like this? Eh?
Che,
Childish.
Okay,
we're,
let me say this.
we're, we're all
Where,
trying to be.
where,
Let him finish.
hold
I
on.
think he's being quite polite. It's nothing
Yeah.
like half of
So
Turkeys in Europe.
where I blame the government is
Want to
not
smoke
bringing those
crack like Jagu?
people to book. You know what I mean? But what happened in the case of Deborah was just juggle justice, to be honest. Yeah, but the only point where I will blame the government, the people involved, you need to bring those people to book. I mean, some of them were arrested. I don't know what happened with that case.
They,
But
they
it
are
has
all
nothing
been
to do with
released.
Sharia, to be honest. You know, Kenneth, you need to learn to elevate your discussion a little bit. You know, everything is not cheap. Stop being childish. You don't talk sound. I don't want to say
Call it
something. You know,
whatever you want to call
calm
it.
down, calm down.
Since you all are trying to be stupid in that country, let's
Can
all.
they,
Oh,
come on, can they hold on? Okay,
yeah, you know.
so let me
So
ask you now. Okay, finish what you are saying, then I'll ask you a question.
Damn, Jagu gave Kenneth
is
crack.
there is a lot of misconception, right? I would understand the feeling of people that are not Muslims. To be honest, they have right to be agitating. You know, to be honest, you can't remove it from them. The concept of Sharia I mean, if you can apply it to non-Muslims, right? Especially if it's a secular state, as Nigeria is called, right? It's not applicable to everybody. Even if you live in a Muslim country, I mean, if you can decide, you said you can't try me in a Sharia court, right? Take me to a civil court. Sharia is not only what the way people understand it. Somebody go cut somebody hand. This. The
They
discussion is
know. They
very
just
poor.
pretending they
It's
know.
very poor. To be honest, again, I understand when non-Muslim are against Sharia. It's perfectly okay. If you bring Christian religion to me, I'm gonna be against it. I'll tell you no because if I feel like it's not gonna give me justice. But when you understand something, you are able. I just feel like I speak the truth and the other guest. I
Dr.
mean, they
Perry.
did quite a lot of justice to it. Even for father, yes, which day I was watching you. For example, I speak the truth. This is very competent about this topic, right? And not only this, I speak the truth. You know him to speak the truth always. But when it comes to issue of religion, he's explaining this to you. Then again, why don't you listen to him? Like
Jagu
even
probably gave him some of his crack to smoke. That's why you can't
if
hear
you
him.
watch Dr. Rudolph today, Rudolph was
Can you
able
let him just
to
land, please?
tap on information from a spirit truth. He focused on it because he saw him bringing a lot of information. This platform, one thing I've said, right? We are from different part of the country, different upbringing, different experiences, different culture. It is an opportunity for us to learn. We need to learn. we don't need to argue to win. No, it's not going to help us. Forefather said something very important. My fear is when it comes to all this religion, tribe, my fear is we are missing the main point. They're using it to divide us. It is opportunity for politicians. They will keep using this tribal religion to divide us. You were also talking about regionalized Nigeria. You know, yeah, I'm top on that. But you can't regionalize Nigeria based on religious values. The only regions you can regionalize in Nigeria based on religious value, you could say northwest, southeast. I mean, even southeast now, Islam is going fast in those areas, to be honest. Southeast is still, you could call it at least 70% Christian region, right? It's place like southwest that is 50-50 for Muslim and Christian. How do you want to regionalize based on religion? Where you going to put the Christian? Where are you going to put the Muslim? So we need to look deeper. Like North Central, for example, is literally North Central. You hear the population is also close to 50-50 or maybe 40-60, 45. It's very close. How do you want to regionalize based on religion? Where are you going to put the Christian? Where are you going to put the Muslims? So we need to look at all these issues. Even the state, right? Even some of the states you see, they have reasonable Muslim and Christian population. So if you are talking in terms of evil tribe, the only regions you can really regionalize based on tribe is southwest, southeast, maybe northwest, northeast. A lot of region you can't region. Nigeria is quite complicated. It's not the way we look at it. If I know a lot of us here, probably we left our villages to Lagos to abroad. We don't know Nigeria. Nigeria is very complicated. If you travel down to Maiduguri, down to Sokoto, you will understand what I'm talking about. If you travel down to rivers, down to Cross River, Akwa Ibom, you will understand how Nigeria is complicated. If you've not been to places in Nigeria, you will not understand it. It's very, very complicated. So if we want to regionalize Nigeria, from the point I'm looking at it, regionalize it based on breaking down the structure, based on the urgency of our development. Maybe it's going to develop faster in bits instead of as a whole. This is the point I'm looking at it. The other thing is this. I from this platform, I really understand that. We are not nationalists. Some people, some Nigerians, when they go against the country, it's not because the country is bad. They're going based on the hate for the country. You cannot hate your country. You need to first of all recognize this is my country. Then what are the problems? We start looking for ways how to solve our problem. When you break the country, this country does not belong to just you. It belongs to future people coming. So when you break it down today, then what next? So that's why all of us, we have to be cautious of what we say to divide the country, what we do. We have to be cautious. Trust me, if you don't have peace, you cannot have development. Nigeria is very complicated. So we need to calm down. We need to tone down our discussion sometimes when it comes to race, religion, tribe, religion, and this kind of division. They are not really like helping us. We got issues. We got a lot of issues. For me, if I see somebody I know that can get the job done, even in a local government in Kapachan, I will support you even if I'm not going to benefit anything from there. If I see somebody that will do it in deep Cross River local government, I will support you as long as the people are happy, the people are benefiting. This is just my whole position. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
We want to add something.
Can I speak?
My hand is up. My hand has been up.
Immediately. Let
Just
Onwibo
1
add,
minute, and I'll be gone. Just 1 minute.
add something, then you can speak. He's had his hand up for a while now. Finish what
Okay,
you are
let him speak. Let him speak.
saying. Okay, you can speak.
Speak, okay? When I speak,
Okay, thank you. You see, all of us, like AY is, I get what AY is saying, but I beg to differ. I beg to differ. All of us know the constitution, the foundation on which Nigeria is being, is operating with. That constitution, you can never solve that problem if you don't deal with the foundation. Let me tell you, how did the 1999 constitution came into force? It came into force by the actions and inactions of the military.
Exactly.
No Nigerian, no Nigerian, no Nigerian. I'm hearing
Yeah,
myself.
somebody's echoing.
He's had his hand up for a while now. Finish what you're
Can you
It's
please
okay.
mute if you are
Don't
not
worry.
talking? Let me just.
You can't help him now.
Godfather, take his you.
Half of his mind is in Europe. It's okay. Leave it.
Okay. Okay.
We know
Thank
who
you.
is doing it.
Thank you. You see, the foundation is the problem which all of us has agreed quite some time now. You cannot have such foundation and allow, expect people will live, in accordance with the way you want them to live with each other. It cannot happen. The reason why, like I said before, in other countries where they are predominantly Muslim, don't have most of the problem that we have in Nigeria, is because they are more in number. They are more in number. But when you come to Nigeria, you have quite reasonable, let me say 60, 40, 50, 50, or 50 on the other side. This is the problem. If Nigerians were called upon, how are we going to live? They come in, they put up everybody put up their own opinion and how they are going to live. A document is drafted from there, then things will work well. But when you are working with what I call a decree, which although I had no power to change anything as at that time, I had no power. I was just a warrant officer second class. I had no power to change anything. If you work with that foundation, you will never, from now to 30 years, we will die and our children will come and begin to discuss about the same issue because you have allowed strong men to determine what happens in the country instead of building strong institutions. That is the problem. Nigerians were not agreed on the foundation that is being used now to run that country. That's what I have to say there. Thank you.
Let me
And,
just
and,
ask him a quick
and
question, if you'll permit
okay,
me.
I think it's
Kenny
time
wanted
for
to
me to
ask
speak now.
question first. Kenny, 1 minute. Go ahead.
It's very simple. See, we all know how to blanket talks, serious issues, and begin to put cream on the body so that it will appear nice and sound, sweet to the ears. See, if somebody is coming here to tell us that that in the north middle belt you have 50-50 Christian Muslim, in the southwest you have 50-50, in the southeast you have 70-30, so how would you begin to islamize Nigeria? Or that all those are cock and bull story, right? The thing is, if you know that Nigeria is that diverse a religion, in a religious aspect, why then are you pushing for the Sharia law? Why is their intent? Bumbure here was asked a question. What is the motive for pushing for this Sharia law? He could not answer it. What is their
I could
intent?
not.
What do they want to achieve? He could not answer it. The same thing played out during during Obasanjo's second time or election bidding. They use that as a beginning chief to get what they want or what they wanted from Obasanjo. And today, they want to replicate same. They want to use the same tactics, the same style to push for Sharia law in the Southwest. And though this guy today, Tinubu, is helpless, Tinubu know that he knows that the South and the Southeast are not going to vote for him. Obviously, they did not vote for him last time, and he already know that the North have rejected him completely because the North was the one that actually voted for him last time. So he knows that they rejected him. And in the Southwest, they are divided. So there is no way, there is no magic Tinubu can perform to win this 2027 election. The only magic is to rig it again. And it will be very obvious. So the North now saw a loophole or a kind of idea to now push for this Sharia law in the Southwest. And that is why they are doing. And you and I will sit here. They are going to achieve it. He's going to promise them. He's going to give it to them, provided they elect him for the second term. See, there is no point trying to smooth this talk. If Sharia law, if they don't have, if you cannot tell us the intent, if you cannot tell us their intentions, why then are you pushing it? You're making an example with Kuwait. Kuwait is 75% Muslims. So 75% Muslim, why is the need?
Okay, so
actually, the 75% is not enough. The 75% is not enough. They want to make it to 100%. So that is why they still have Sharia law. As soon as they push that agenda, as soon as they increase their percentage to up to 90 plus, they will remove Sharia law.
All right, Kenny, we get
you
it.
have you had it before. I think you had it previously in Turkey. As soon as they achieve that dominance, they remove it. So that is the essence. Once they achieve the dominance that they are looking for, they just remove it so that you will not call them a Sharia country. See, that is what they want to do in Nigeria. Once they achieve that dominance, they will forget about Sharia law.
Okay, Kenny.
That is
they
how
want to
they come in.
Islamize everybody. They want to put everybody in
and you and I actually we own Nigeria, right? You cannot come and impose Arabic culture on us, and you think that we should all accept Arabic culture. Islam is about Arabic culture, so you can't.
We get it.
Thank you. Okay, let's move to the next person, please. There's someone here that needs to speak. Ed, thank you for joining us. As you can see, welcome to 2025. I hope it goes better for Nigeria. You can argue some things were bad for Nigeria this past year, but the refineries coming on stream is a positive. Please go ahead. What do you make of the conversation so far?
Oh, thank you so much, forefathers. Happy New Year to everyone. It's still not 2025 where I am, but it will be in the next about 45 minutes from now. I wish everyone the best of it. And I mean, it's been I'm glad we are having these conversations. I actually did not want to come up, but there are some things that I said that I just felt. I mean, I couldn't stomach it. I think in the first place, there's a lot of obfuscation and a lot of gaslighting going on here. You know, we're having an intellectual conversation. The whole idea of suggesting that, some people are the purveyors of truth and should be listened to, I think that just minimizes the need for a debate or for an intelligent conversation. If you already believe that some people are the only ones that should be able to tell the truth on issues, people have their different perspectives based on what their experiences are and what they've seen. Having said that, I want to get back to the question of this Sharia law. What does it really mean to be Nigerian? What unites us as Nigerians? Is this going to in any way help unify us more as a people? If we feel that, you know, division along ethnic, along religious lines has been one of the main issues that we have in Nigeria. Is this going to further that, or is this going to? Is there any like economic or social benefit to it? Those are things we really need to ask. By practicing these laws, does it make us even more Nigerian? Does it improve us economically? Does it improve us from a social perspective? Those are questions, those are the interrogations we really need to make. There's also this whole conversation about our constitution, right? I've heard people say the constitution is based on Christian laws and all of that. And I can't think of anything farther from the truth than that. And here is why. I really don't want to make this conversation about Christianity, but since that's already been said, I think we really need to interrogate it. What is innately Christian about the Nigerian constitution? When we say that, do we mean that the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is based on the Bible? When there is no mention about the Bible, about Christ, about church, about Christian, there's no mention of anything that is existentially Christian in the constitution. Whereas if you flip it to the other side, there is a lot of mentions about Sharia, about Islam, about the Grand Caliph and all of that stuff. What is innately Christian about the Nigerian constitution? Is it because it's written in the English language? Is the presidential system of government a Christian concept? Is democracy a Christian concept? Where in the Bible are those concepts? Because we just say some things and use that as like a straw man to make very, very scathing remarks to kind of further some agenda. I would go back to what Mr. Tony said, and I think it was a very brilliant submission. Let's take away any sort of religious coloration to our constitution. Let's not sponsor people to Jerusalem. Let's not sponsor people to Mecca. If we really wanting to have a united Nigeria, by all means, practice religion at your personal expense and in your personal comfort, right? Let's take away these things that divide us. Let's not talk about, let's take away things that divide us, but yet we are promoting things that divide us. I just feel like it's just hypocritical. Practice your religion at your own expense. If you want to go to Mecca, go. In all of this, as much as I'm a Christian, what of the traditional believers, those that believe in the tradition? Because if we're going to say, let's get down to our basics as being Nigerian, what really are we? What were we before the Arabs and the Christians came? If we're going to even argue on that basis, I keep hearing things like, the Yoruba people have had Sharia for a long time. Does that make them innately Islamic? It's like saying, the Moroccans, the Lebanese, they were Christian before, right? So they should go. Would you agree that they should go back to whatever religion they were? So those kind of things. Like, I just feel like we need to be really sincere if we want to have a truly nationalistic outlook. Let's quell all these things that bring unnecessary division, things that bring suspicions. We try to say, okay, yes, I know I don't know much about Islam, so I'm not going to make pretense. And I would respect if people also say they don't know much about Christians instead of making generalizations or making assertions about Christianity. But then why are people really afraid? Because people are not afraid of the Christianity or of the Islam that they do not know. They are afraid of the Islam that they see in Nigeria. They are afraid of the Islam that was used as impetus to kill Deborah Samuel. They are afraid of the Islam that was used as impetus to keep Rhoda Jataru in prison for the past 1 year until she was released. They're not, the people don't really care about the Islam that they don't know, because You could preach about Islam, say all these nice things about them, but people know what they see in their everyday lives. They know what has happened to the northern part of Nigeria, which had their own traditional religions, but everything today has Islamic coloration. You cannot say, I mean, at least I'm from the south. I still know my culture. I still know what it means to be a Benin man. That much cannot be said about some of our brothers in the north. That's what people are afraid of. So, if we really want to have peace, let's have peace. Let's stop fanning the embers of things that cause division. Religion is a personal thing, right? In as much as we want to be evangelistic in our religions, at the end of the day, we have to realize that people should practice religion with their personal consent, at their personal cost, and at their own pace. You don't have to, start bringing in things that would cause further division. Nigeria is already too fragile. That's just my 2 cents. Thank you very much, and I hope 2025 comes to the best for us.
Thank you. Nice one.
So this is this ingenuity that I say Nigerians are fond of doing. They will tell you how they want to be liberal, and they will tell you how they hope for fairness, but in actual fact, they are swinging things in their way. I guess it's just human nature, anyways. And I wish, okay, Anwin is still here. There was something he said, and which was what I wanted to ask a question on before Kenny, of course, jumped in with his usual babble. Anwin said if it's in the Constitution, everybody should sit down, talk about it. It shouldn't be a decree. And if, for example, it is enacted in the Constitution after everybody agrees with it, then he would have no problem with it. Am I right so far, Wimbo?
No, that I think that is you've just misconstrued
Okay,
what I said.
so basically, I'm saying so that means you disagree. Fine. So that means even if it was in the
Yeah, I disagree with you.
Constitution,
I disagree.
good. So
I
that
disagree.
means again, this is the disingenuity I'm talking about. So that means even if Sharia law was in the Constitution for the Northerners or the adherents of the Islamic faith, you would have a problem with it. Because prior to that, what you told us was everybody should sit down if it's in the document. So you're telling us the only thing
That
that
is not. That
okay,
is if you
so
can.
fine, you've told us you
Hold on.
disagree.
If
Then
you
can
can
I
if you
continue?
hold on, please, because I don't know how you always twist things and try to force people to believe what you just said. Look, what I said is this: the 1999 Constitution was a military decree that was given to Nigeria. It wasn't people's
Exactly.
constitution.
Which is what
Listen to
I
me.
just said.
Listen to me. I did not say if Sharia was added to it, it is going to be a problem to me. Listen to me very well, because you are too
Sir,
fond of
I just
doing
asked
things
you
that
a question. This is
very very disingenuous, and you accuse people
just
of being
because
disingenuous.
forefathers, can
This
I
is what
speak,
it is.
please?
I
So
said, if the people of Nigeria were called and they decide how they are going to live in Nigeria, it could have been better. Let them agree and
Awimbo,
fashion ways to live. Okay,
can
that's
I
all.
speak?
But
Good.
for them to be imposed
Can I speak
upon with
now?
1999 Constitution, I don't agree with it.
Awimbo.
Simple.
This is how you can conduct a conversation. Again, like I always say, stop putting your emotions or your personal dislike of an individual into a conversation. I asked you a question. Right away, you said no. I just said what you just hold on one second. I don't want to
I am very, very ingenious by answering
okay,
your question, because they have asked you numerous
can
questions here
I
you refuse to answer.
okay.
You
So
fail flat from
all
answering
right.
them.
So
And look at how you are. Who is
can
disingenuous?
I please finish? All right. So again, I asked you the same question using your own words. Everybody's on here. Everybody can hear it. For those that couldn't cannot grasp it or weren't listening or were half attentive, they can easily rewind it. I asked you that if it was in the Constitution, if that was your premise, if that was your position, based on what you said and which I understood, which you're now saying again, but because you don't want to listen to me, of course, because of a personal dislike, you said if it's in the Constitution, you would have no problem with it. Right. Okay, so if you wouldn't have a problem with it, I put it to you right now that Sharia is already in the Constitution as we speak. So maybe your argument, like you said, would be, well, it was a decree. It wasn't everybody that came together to accept it. That part I can accept, which is what I just wanted to clarify. So stop coming at me with your own exactly, like just clarify with me. So stick with me here. So
Okay, now let me, have you finished?
Hey,
of course
can I say something?
of
Just
course
to
you want to
just
talk. How
let
can
me
I be
just give
finished
this
if
recent
I
points.
was
I'm
talking?
just okay, finish,
How
Yeah,
can
finish.
I be finished?
I
No,
would
no,
like
no,
to
no,
give
not
something.
not you, not let Turkey
Okay.
guys speak,
You're fond of it, like the rest of them
I
talk.
just
No,
spoke
but
just
wait,
now.
wait,
I've
hold
not
on. But
spoken for a
it is
while.
okay for me to complain because you do it. You continuously do it, and it is
You
irritating.
can
When
finish, please.
everybody else speaks, you don't have a problem with it. When a divergent opinion wants to speak, then the rest of you, led by you, start jumping in.
What?
And
I'm
what
very,
I
very
wanted to ask,
evil-handed. How dare you
what
accuse me of impartiality? I'm
no,
very
you're really
evil-handed.
not. So, what I wanted to ask Kenny was he keeps saying, what is their intent? I mean, what else will be their intent? They want to be ruled by laws that govern their creed. He said there's no evidence. Everything he said about, oh, this is why they're doing it because of a second term. I wanted to ask him, wishing he was here, there's no evidence that this push for Sharia in the Southwest is being led by the North. That is not true. You don't know that. I don't know that, except he's privy to certain information that we are not. We don't know. We don't know if it's a bargaining chip for political reasons. All we know is there are certain people of the Islamic faith that want this in their lives. Now, do you have a right to be scared of it? You say, well, this is the Islam we know. I think, again, and I would still emphasize that there's a lot of disingenuity going on because if you say, this is the Islam I know, this is the Islam I know, well, you cannot say this is Islam you know when in the next vein you say, well, even in places like XYZ country, they don't even practice it. And those places are predominantly Muslim. So you have to ask yourself, why are these kind of carnages that happen in Nigeria, the type that affected Deborah or the other people that y'all mentioned, why isn't it happening in those countries? And the simple fact of it, like when you mentioned Yerima, it is political. It is political. Just like AY was trying to explain to you guys, there's a difference between the proper implementation of this law and the political aspect. But what I have inferred and what I have gathered, and I'm just enjoying this because it's taking away my time before I go join my family, is that everybody, well, aside from Tony, I'll give him that, most people on here really do not want to hear. They already have a preconceived notion. Anything you say, they're willing to jump on it. They're willing to attack. They're willing to argue. This is not something like, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's just understanding where these people are coming from and what you don't understand. Go read about it before making pronouncements, and everything is going to be kosher. Mm.
All right, all right. Let's see what people are being nice to us. You see, at the
Papadas.
core of it, in my
Oh,
opinion. No,
Papadas.
hold on first. This is now. I'm coming to you next. For me, the core of it is that should we even be putting all these religions first instead of founding a nation? We are talking about religions here and there, and they are trying. Some of them are trying to extend it. I think it was recently they were trying to even make the Sharia even stronger in the House of Assembly, and it was knocked down. So those are the kind of things we don't need to be happening now. We should be looking at building a viable nation so that our people can actually flourish. So, but let me just play this so that we can get an idea of the mistake we are making when we try to say that, okay, let's uphold one religion after the other, because they're all after us. Let me play this.
The survivors fled to camps on the border of North Darfur and eastern Chad, from where our Africa correspondent Yusra Al-Bakhir sent this report. It contains video of an attack and its aftermath on unarmed civilians, and also mention of sexual violence.
These are the women demanding answers, forced out of their homes by militias in a national war
Muslims,
devastating Sudan that echoes the Darfur genocide of 20 years ago. My 13-year-old daughter is still missing since the day we fled, she says. I've no mother, no brother. I can't find anyone. And these are the men that terrorized her hometown, declaring victory to the Arabs over lifeless bodies. Our investigation with Lighthouse Reports reveals this rare, unseen footage. Evidence of ethnically motivated atrocities against civilians by militiamen, promising to make them suffer. We've identified the victims in this video. 5 brothers dragged out of their home and shot dead in broad daylight. One of them, Abdul Jabbar, was only 14 years old. Captured in a hunt of civilian men from non-Arab tribes.
They take what they want and torture any man they find. That is their goal. They never entered Arab houses in the neighborhood. They only go to the houses of black people, break in and take.
That's our neighbor, she says. He was walking to the well right next to his house. Then they shot and killed him. She says the attack was led by the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, an Arab tribal militia turned paramilitary group waging a war against Sudan's army.
We woke up to the sound of bullets, lots of bullets. Suddenly the Arabs entered the town and started killing people in the streets. They entered homes, killing and raping people.
This propaganda video was shared by the RSF, declaring their control of the area in the aftermath of the massacre. Several sources say RSF commanders, including this man, Ali Hamid al-Tahir, ordered the violence against civilians as his troops moved to capture the army garrison. Survivors also told us they spotted one of the RSF's most notorious militia leaders, Noor al-Gubba, walking in the town center as destruction ensued.
It was terrifying. When you have a defense and then it all falls away, what are you meant to do? We had to flee.
He's describing the abrupt withdrawal of the army, with some soldiers accused of abandoning the garrison, an allegation that has come from within the army's ranks.
All of the army's intelligence withdrew before the attack. Soldiers were meant to be part of the defense.
He says the barracks were sold out and that 40 junior soldiers, mostly from Darfur, were killed in the aftermath.
All of the soldiers who were killed were from Darfur, except the compromised commander who was assassinated. The other Arabs had already joined their people during the attack.
Safia's husband was one of the soldiers killed in the battle, but civilian men in her family were targeted too.
My 3 cousins and 2 of my brothers were stood up and shot dead. My father would have been killed too if he hadn't fled. We had to bury my brothers in the yard with some dirt and leave them behind.
Residents say they'd never seen anything like it, even compared to the 2003 conflict in Darfur, designated as genocide.
This time, these guys conquer the army, and then they come for the civilians. If you have a car, they'll take it. They'll take anything in your home. If you have pretty sisters, they'll rape them.
Thousands of survivors are scattered in these camps, longing to return home and reunite with their families. Relatively safe, but still reeling from the day they were hunted door by door. Yusra Al-Bagher, Sky News, Eastern Chad.
So those are the ones that were able to escape to Chad. So the thing is, the reason why I play all this video is a teachable moment to our people that are carrying the religion on their head. Because it appears from the behavior of the religion is based on, first, they convert you to their faith, then that faith will actually weaken you, then they will finish the job.
What you watch
Can you
right
let me
now-
finish, please?
No, but what you watch right now, what has it got to do with what you're
Okay,
saying?
you will ask me that. You will ask me that. Let me finish what
I
I'm
will
saying.
explain how it got to do with it.
Yes. So they will weaken you, then they will come and finish the job by Arabizing you on top of it. Because this is not only Sudan it's happened to, it's already happened to the entire North Africa and most of the Arab world, really. When you say Arab world, it doesn't mean that they are all genetically Arab. They were this is how they were mostly converted. Because Arabs themselves are a distinct race on their own, and the other Canaanites, this in descendants. Also, can I finish, please? Can I finish what I'm saying?
What did
You have your
the
time.
person speaking
Can I finish
say
what I'm
was the
saying?
reason for the conflict?
Can I finish what I'm saying? I will address that. I will address that. You know, I'm not going to dodge it at all. So the reason for the conflict was because of the dispute between the two top generals of that country, and they are being funded. Hold on, they are being funded by foreigners.
No, that wasn't my question. I said, what did that wasn't my question. The person speaking in the video, all of us just watched, they made a certain pronouncement twice, at the beginning and at the end. They said this is the reason for the conflict. What did they say the reason for the conflict was? I can tell you because I wrote it down.
I know the reason for the conflict.
All
I
right,
don't
so
even
tell
need
us.
to hear that. The conflict started because of the disagreement between the two
That
generals.
wasn't what they said. They
What
said
would they
it
say?
was an ethnically motivated atrocity against minorities by militiamen. They said it at the
Oh my
beginning
God.
and they said it at the end.
But that's not the beginning, the main reason for the conflict.
I said, what did they tell us? You are not an authority on history. I'm not going to. So, what did the video that we just watched?
The video,
say
what
was
it
the
told
reason?
us was that, okay, let me just, I'm not going to dodge your question at all. What the video actually said was, as a result of this conflict that was happening, when these people get to these areas, they use that advantage and wipe out the native, the people that are not.
No,
are
you're
not
telling
Arab.
us the effect. I said, what was the cause? What
I
did
just
they
told you the
tell
cause
us?
of the conflict.
Was that what the video
general.
said, or should we watch it all over again? Because I don't know if this is a comprehension issue. Because
No. If you want us to watch it again, we can watch it
They
again.
did not say anything about two generals. Nobody
Actually,
on
they
here-
did.
Oh my God.
Forefathers. I don't know what you want to say.
They mentioned the two forces, the army and the RSF. I've forgotten what they call.
Yes, and they said it was started because of ethnically motivated atrocities against minorities by militiamen. At what point did they mention Islam as the problem or the cause of the conflict? Is what I'm putting to you.
Who said it was Islam that was the cause of the conflict?
How did you start off with?
I said the reason why this is relevant is because the people that are being killed right now in Sudan are black people that are Muslims, but just because they are not Arabs, they are being killed. Is that clear for you? And that is a teachable moment for our own people that is dying because of Islam.
So you start exactly.
So tomorrow, hold on, because tomorrow you will be next. You might be that same people that are being killed by Arabs because you are not Arab.
At what point did they say the conflict was because of Muslims? Because listen, you cannot.
Oh my God!
Wait. I don't.
What does it matter? What is?
Can you please allow him to make his point so that other people will come in? This interjection here and there.
I've tried to explain.
In this platform.
It doesn't matter what it is for. It doesn't matter what it is for.
I speak the truth. Can you just please allow him to finish, please?
It doesn't matter what it is for. It is what they are doing with it. They are using it to kill black people that are Muslims. How can that? You see, the reason why you are pushing so hard against it because it goes contrary to everything you believe about
No,
the
it
faith.
doesn't. All I'm asking
It goes,
you, when you make a certain
the same
pronouncement,
thing. Let me
forefathers,
finish now. Let me finish what I'm saying. The same thing was done by even Christianity. Christianity, they will try to Christianize you, and if they have the opportunity, they will wipe you out. They did that to.
forefathers, that is not the point. When you start off, when you make a pronouncement by starting off and saying, this is the reason, just hear me out, okay? So this is the reason why Nigerians should not put religion on their head, because look at what the Muslims, hold on.
Yes, Arabs.
Damn, so far this okay. Let me place my position. Damn, I think you were fed with parrot eggs as a baby. Listen, and you're telling us you, in essence, what you did was you placed the blame, no matter how you want to skirt around it now, okay? You essentially place the blame on the doorstep and the forefront of Islam, knowing that our argument all through has been about the enactment of Sharia in Nigeria. Now, if a child or an uninformed person was in the comment section or just a part of the audience just watching, automatically they are assuming that it is Islam versus another religion. This is not what you did, and which is what I wanted you to correct. You're saying it as if it is Islam versus another religion, knowing that the topic all day has been about Islam and another religion. Now you want to say, oh, well, I'm saying about the Arab Muslims, and which is what I wanted you to start off with. Now, if you know it is between two Muslim groups, not because this person is Muslim or that person is Muslim, it is because they are of different ethnicities, one being Arab or pseudo-Arab, and the other being of Negroid ethnicity. This is the cause of the conflict, not because of religion, and which is why I said, did you notice what the reporter did? They stated it at the start, and they stated it at the end, that it was ethnically motivated by militia groups.
Yes, and that is exactly what I meant, because they converted those people to Muslims, and now
But you're not
ethnically
saying
it's
something.
not exactly. They don't.
You're not saying something out of Turkey. You are not saying that those militias, they are backed by Arabs, they are backed by UAE.
No, hold on now. Let me finish my point. Let me finish the point I was making. They were even doing Allah Akbar and all others while they were killing fellow Muslims just because they are not Arabs. That is key, and that is it. If our own people that are black can picture the consequences of what they are doing to their own people now.
I thought they were killing Christians.
No. They were killing Muslims.
They weren't. So
they were killing Muslims.
So do you
so
understand
let me finish
why
my point. Let me finish my point. So they were killing Muslims. So the point of that is to highlight to our own Muslims in Nigeria that what you are doing, you think you are practicing a faith where they care about you. Sooner or later, when you grant them enough soft power, there will be consequences, like the kind of consequences that have flowed all through North Africa and it's coming south.
Do you see how you confuse people?
I'm not confusing people. Okay, if you want to say he's confused, let him be confused.
Even eccentric was confused.
Okay, let's say he's confused. No. You can't keep interrupting me.
If we are going to do this in just like the way this guy is doing here, it will not be good.
If you interrupt me again, you're going to go backstage, please. I'm not going to have it anymore. See, if he is confused, that is for him to be confused, because I made it very clear that these people were Muslims that were being killed. If you cannot understand that, because anytime you see Muslim killing people, you're assuming that they are killing Christians. Maybe that's the conditioning we all have, but we don't seem to understand. That's why this is unique. So that that's why I'm highlighting it too, so that our own Muslim can see it. That the people they are dying for, those Arabs that they envy so much, this is how they see them. Because if you know that the people that you are worshiping, that you think their language is the language of heaven, the language of angels, they are killing you like rabbits and raping your women. And when those women have children, those children become Arabs. Because even if you have 5%, 10%, 15% Arabic gene, you are suddenly Arab. They don't care whether 70%.
Father, let this discussion move.
So hold on, don't interrupt me, please. Because this is a very, very important point that you all need to hear that practice Islam. Because you all know what you are doing in that continent. You all go around so many countries causing chaos because of other people's religion. You are in Mozambique. You are
Let
in.
it out. Let it out. Let it out.
Shut up. You're going to end up back. I've told you already. You are in
Further,
Mozambique. You are in the Sahel. Hold on, please. No, I need to let them know what they are
make
doing.
it sound it will make it sound stereotypical.
I don't care. I don't hate. I'm trying to defend my own people. They don't want to defend their own people. All they want to do is back on another religion to the hilt. That's all they want to do. They pretend as if that's not what they are doing.
You will end up sounding
above their own people. They are attacking people in
So
Mozambique.
far, calm down. Calm down. You are the moderator. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
I'm not
Calm
just a
down.
moderator.
You are the moderator. You are the moderator.
I'm a panelist now. I'm a panelist now. I'm not a moderator because it's not fair that when you are trying to confront a truth here, people just try to hide it and pretend as if it's not happening. And that's what causes problem. Tomorrow now, somebody like Kene will come tell them, oh, you are useless. Why are you telling me I should practice Sharia? They will argue with each other. And all of us that want to get on with our life, we have to put up with them fighting each other. That is the nonsense we have to fight against and make sure that this country that we are trying to build is not sabotaged because of religious division. They need to hear it because these things are happening and people are getting killed. Deborah just got killed just because she just made a mistake. People are actually getting killed, and our own people. That's why Mary Antoinette, when she came here today, she was like, our children are getting kidnapped by so-called excited these Muslims, and stealing is supposed to be against Sharia law. Where are these people not being hunted? If anything, they are covered. They try to cover for them many of the times. They are not being hunted down and brought down to make sure that they pay for the crime that they are committing. Killing innocent people is not supposed to be allowed, but they get away with it anyway. They even kill fellow Muslims. In Nigeria, one other Muslim was killed, I think last year or 2 years ago, because he said the wrong thing about the faith. You can't keep doing that. And this is the reason why I'm showing them that video, that if you are killing your people because of this faith, look at what they are doing to you because you are not even black. You are not Arab. You should learn to defend your own people first before you start thinking about religion. Religion just came to us how many 100 years ago? Suddenly, because they programmed you in your head, you start killing your own people constantly. That's my take on it. I don't subscribe to the idea that we pretend as if these things are not happening. Why is it that it's only them that are being recruited to fight people? Why are they not recruiting Christian extremists? Why are they not recruiting Buddhist extremists? We pretend as if these things are not happening. Please, if anybody wants to go ahead, go ahead. I think support diaspora voting or something.
Father, let me quickly say something. Sometime, hold on, guys. Sometime we get things into our head. We progress in ignorance. We think we understand what we're doing. What you are actually saying, right? To be honest, you lack knowledge about Islamic knowledge and organization.
Even politics, you don't know.
To be honest, hold on, guys, hold on. And you are somebody I respect.
Tell me where I like.
Hold
Tell me
on,
where
hold
I
on,
like.
hold
Don't
on,
just say it like that. No,
Okay,
I'm not going to
okay,
let this
let me-
wishy-washy statement you
hold
people
on,
make all the
hold
time.
on. Let
Where
me-
do I? What did I like? Tell me what I
Hold
lacked.
If you don't want me to speak, I can
No,
leave.
I want you
Hold
to
on.
speak, but
Okay,
I
now
don't
hold
want
on.
the wishy-washy
So,
statement.
Now,
What is it that
Tell
got
him
wrong?
where he lack.
Okay, hold
I
on.
need to know.
your turn yet. Funny enough.
Hold on. Let people
I'm here to
speak.
learn
Hold on.
too. So tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Hold on. You see, the stuff you're talking about, right? See, there are a lot of dynamics to issues, right? What is going on in Sudan is a Muslim country. First of all, you need to recognize that. These
Not Sudan or South Sudan. What are you talking about?
Not Sudan. It's not Sudan. It's okay.
Sudan, there is nothing like North Sudan. It's
Exactly.
Sudan and South Sudan. If you don't know, you need to learn, connect.
No,
So,
I just want to make sure you understand what you're saying.
Keep quiet. In Sudan, right? Sudan is a Muslim country as it is, right? This fight, we've discussed it a lot of time. This fight is started even in Ramadan, that even you cannot kill a fly during Ramadan. You cannot fight a fly as a Muslim. So, first of all, you will see the only way you can look at it, oh, these are Muslims fighting each other. See, human being, I have said it, human being, either whatever you worship, whatever you believe, human being is human being. It's just like when I have said it, people that believe in division, if you like, just like we talk about Nigeria, split Nigeria into a local government, they will divide that local government. Trust me. This is what is happening. So these issues, right, even when people are Muslim, just like you see leadership, like in Muslim organization, because of leadership, they will turn it into tribe. Like, for example, maybe Yoruba and Hausa are dominating that organization. Oh, this one is supporting my. These are human problem. It doesn't have anything to do with religion. So what is going on? There is tribal content to what is going on in Sudan.
Yep.
It's not because, oh, this one are Arab, this one are black, that is why they're going to kill them. You need to do more research as regard this stuff. Even, do you know Saudi have a black Muslim population? Like Saudi, original Saudi. They are blacks. So it's not only in Sudan you have black Muslim population. Saudi indigene. I have a friend from Saudi. He is black. If you see him, you will think he's Nigerian.
Oman,
But
Qatar,
he's
all of
Okay,
them.
so
Saudi
you,
Oman.
by
Hold on.
saying that by
I
saying
just
that
try
this
to
is a
educate
tribal
you
conflict.
on this
No,
stuff.
I hear you what you say that it's a tribal conflict, but by saying that you are implying that tribalism trumps the religion in their
No,
eyes.
that's not
Some
Fafa, that's not
places.
the
In
point. The
some
Fathers,
point
places.
is
fathers,
you
this is
cut
what
off
Actually,
and you stopped off
these
hold
No,
guys
on.
need
let's
to
get
Hold on.
understand
into
this
the
See,
right.
crux of the
religious
matter.
hold on.
connotation.
Let
You
AY
gave it
speak,
a
please,
See,
because you
religious
don't want
now
to
you
answer the
people,
connotation,
question. Let
which
AY
let
speak.
me
was
This
not
is what they
right.
need to
It wasn't
understand.
a
No, one
South
at a
okay.
time.
Sudan,
We can't hear each
conflict.
other one at
Fathers,
a time. We can't hear
if you
anybody.
cannot hold,
And
if you cannot handle the moderation, blame
yeah,
me.
yeah, diaspora.
Forefathers, forefathers,
I wish you can handle the moderation so I can do the talking really, but you don't
forefathers.
have access
I'm
backstage.
telling you with certainty. In some places, in some tribes, their tribe supersede religion. I can name the places in Nigeria for you. When you bring religion, no matter if it's Islam, Christianity, their tribe supersede any of those religions. One of such places, like in the Southwest, majority of the Southwesterner, quote me anywhere, their tribe supersede religion.
It was all of
Yeah,
the South.
but you don't see that in Nigeria, do you? They want to put religion first.
No,
Can I
no.
respond to
This
what
is
I
what you
said?
don't know.
Oh
You
my
know,
God,
I,
this one's
I
gonna
made
start
a
talking
statement
about
before,
Russia.
right? A lot of us, we don't know ourselves. This is the problem we are having in Nigeria. When I was in Nigeria, I had the opportunity to
that talk
travel.
about Southwest, it's
I
not
had
correct.
opportunity
It's not
to
correct.
travel across board in Nigeria, dealing with different tribe and all over. That is when you get to understand the people. We don't know ourselves as Nigeria. That is why
Ewa,
we
you're
have a lot
deviating
of
now. We need
disagreement.
to learn how to
Okay,
stick to the topic.
yeah,
Put
yeah,
our
yeah,
father's
yeah,
feet to the fire. He played a
yeah.
video.
Oh, look at this one
He
wants to put my
has
feet
See,
to the
to
fire.
stay.
Uh,
Yeah,
now,
you got to put
let,
it to
let,
hello,
let
rest.
me make an announcement, please. Let
Can
me
I
make an
respond to
Yeah,
can
announcement.
I
make an
respond to
I
announcement.
AY?
want to speak now.
Can I
Yeah.
respond to AY?
Okay, let's let
I
support the diaspora
want
Let me
to
voting.
finish. Let
speak
me finish the
now.
summary. I've talking. The reason why we not blame Forefather is not known to be hateful
Thank you.
person, right?
Good.
Oh,
I
that
don't
nigga
just
hate
understand.
Islam, 100%.
No,
South
I don't know.
South Sudan was
No.
smart enough to go their separate ways,
No,
leaving
what is
Kenny,
happening
you
in
Sudan
South
just jump
Sudan?
in
with
from
his
nowhere.
nonsense.
Hold on. Kenny, let's hold on.
Okay.
Let's. I need to make an announcement. We are heading to 3 hours now, so we have to shut down the live feed from all the other
Let
channels.
me finish
The
the
only
2 minutes
channel
there.
that will be on now is only 2Niger because
Okay.
3 hours is what is supposed to be on all the other channels. So if you
Yeah.
want to carry on viewing, you need to go to this is 2Niger because the conversation is not ended here. That is the link there. So you have to go there to carry on viewing it. We have to end on Iroko Post. We are not even supposed to be on Dr. Damages even. This is the first. The only reason why I brought it here was Tracy. Somehow, Tracy, you are supposed to know that we have been announcing it that from the first day of 2025 that we are not going to be streaming to Dr. Damages anymore. It's
Tracy
Iroko
Jacobin,
Post
that very
TV.
handsome man.
Yeah, it's Iroko Post TV from
Forefather,
today.
let me finish.
Yeah, you were saying?
Tracy
Okay.
Jacobin, that very handsome man.
Forefathers.
He's a man.
was still talking now.
Speak now.
Okay, let me finish the point. So we are not going to be seeing this live feed.
Speak now.
Yes, you are the next person. You are not going to be seeing this live feed on Dr. Damages. You will be seeing it on Iroko Post TV, Njenje Media TV, 90 Minutes Africa, 2 Niger, Ovu Project Freedom. That's where you're going to be seeing the live feed. So if
which one is Ovu? It's Ovu. Sound like Voodoo. Which one is Ovu Project Freedom?
It's electricity.
Ovu.
Okay. Ovu Project.
Forefather, let me finish my point, please. Let me make the last
So
couple.
you need to shift to 2 Niger if you want to watch it now, because we're going to end it on all the other channels.
No, brothers. You know what will happen right now,
Yeah.
right? Let me complete 3 hours, shut it down, right? Then let's continue. Because I will not
let me shut down now, actually. Dr. Famine is going off now.
I won't have it speaking right now, right?